ham and cheese.
We are ham and cheese.
No, it's we are family.
Prepare for the Ice Age. Survival separates the dodo from the weak. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this reflection on the Ice Age movies. The Ice Age franchise, because we have another one that we didn't ask for and is now owned by Disney, coming out in the cinemas next year in February, I think. Ice Age Boiling Point, which again never has a film been more accurately titled. It's literally how people feel about this franchise right now, me included. So we thought we'd do a bit of a deep dive into the other films. I suppose we could have waited until that came out, but I'm sure that when the new one comes out, we'll have plenty to talk about when that arrives. And it's also a new era of Ice Age, really, because like Disney own it. And I know we're going to talk about Buckwild, but I still feel like because Blue Sky is now gone, it's probably appropriate to talk about these movies separately.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm joined by Harry and Louie. So welcome, fellas.
Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy. So yeah, let's go back to the very, very beginning. I believe this movie is kind of what made Blue Sky a big name. So I think if it's all right, I'll let Harry go first because I feel like he'll probably be the most concise out of the three of us, unless you have some kind of objection, Louis. Then
Yeah, no, I don't mind.
So yeah, ladies first. Harry, would you like to give us your thoughts on Ice Age from 2002?
Of course. I mean, how do we know it's an Ice Age? Because of all the eyes. Well, things just got a little chillier. Wow. Ice Age. I mean, wow. I love this movie. This is a childhood gem of mine, and it is no question that the best Ice Age movie, and it's probably my second favorite Blue Sky film in general, behind only the Peanuts movie, but it comes pretty damn close. And this was indeed the film that put Blue Sky on the map. And if only all Blue Sky films were as consistent as this, then Blue Sky could have been the next Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks.
Oh, we'll get to the sequels. Don't worry.
Yeah.
There's plenty of them.
Oh, exactly. There's always another one, but yeah, when I saw this movie at the cinema, at the time I was obsessed with prehistoric animals like mammoths and all that, and I still have the VHS tape of this film, and it's not only probably one of the funnier films of the series, but it's also the most heartfelt, and it's got the perfect balance of tone, and it's a great adventure film full of
simple story, but effective in that way. You'd say, like, about a herd, about a family, kind of an unlikely group of heroes, really.
Yeah, literally, an unlikely group of sub-zero heroes who become a family or a herd, essentially. And this was the film that gave birth to, one of the most iconic modern animated characters, Scrat, the saber-toothed squirrel. Even though...
Yeah. I mean, his dialogue is so iconic.
Yeah, truly, because he doesn't need to talk, or he just he just cannot seem to get that acorn. And in literally the opening, the Scrat scenes are like mini films in themselves.
Because he only interacts with the main characters like I think twice. He passes them by coincidentally, but he was there clearly to like mascot the series and to kind of be the sort of the face of the, well, I guess marketing, really, merchandising. I mean, but it's funny how he's probably in cinema, he's one of those characters who's like the longest journey, if any character, because he's still on that journey trying to get his damn acorn.
I'll say, I literally, and I mean,
even Chicken Little got an acorn faster than him.
Yeah, Chicken Little, it just took him one movie to get his acorn. I know, right? But I love that that Scrat in the opening scene, of course, he starts that avalanche, and then in the final scene, he makes a volcano erupt on that tropical island. But every single scene with Scrat is just comedy gold. Well, and it's also so funny how the migrating herd steps on him, and then the titles Ice Age come up, and also yeah, the soundtrack of this film by David Newman is one of the best in the series. The da 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 da.
That opening theme is brilliant.
I'll totally agree. And even though this movie may not have the best animation of the series, but I think the animation it's still aged fairly well by 2002 standards, especially as this was one of the earliest CGI animated films.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Harry, because I went to see the movie again when it was they re-released it in the cinemas a while ago. Select cinemas, and watching it again, you notice how dated it is. It kind of like the first Toy Story. It's a bit blocky. It's a bit rough around the edges, but the textures of the characters are still there, and it's very good for what it is. But as you say, it's just aged. But that's the only thing that probably has improved in all of the sequels. But well, apart from Buck Wild.
Well, yeah, exactly. It still looks way better than Buck Wild in comparison, and has more of a budget than that. But and I think of our trio, Manny is my favorite. As I mean, he's really been through shit, like especially in the best scene in the film, in the cave paintings, when he remembers his family and how how they were hunted by the humans. I mean,
that is the best scene because there's no dialogue, and also you want to talk about great animation. That's the best animation in the film. That whole sequence, just without any words, like that's film. You don't need words to tell a story.
Exactly, it's one of the best examples of show don't tell on film, literally, and it's my favorite scene in the Ice Age franchise in general. But Manny, he does finally. He finds happiness again and a family again through the human baby who they have to return to his family too, and Manny realizes that not all the humans are bad, and also I think Sid, voiced by John Leguizamo, he is he's a comedy character done to perfection, and I mean, as Sid, Lord of the Flame.
And interesting that John Leguizamo performs Sid with a lisp.
Oh yeah,
an interesting
it works
choice.
so well. Yeah, I know, right? And well, and also, and I think Diego is probably the most interesting of the three, because he starts out well as one of the villains. How he's working for Soso, the villain of this film, but after Manny saves his life from the lava, and Diego's like, "Oh, why did you do that? You could have died trying to save me." And Manny's like, "That's what you do in a herd. You look out for each other." Diego realizes, "Oh shit, Manny and Sid are more my family than my saber pack ever were."
Yeah, you see his change of heart and his conflict. It's very well done, throughout the film.
Yeah, I'll say, and I love that Diego stands up to Soso in the climax and gives his life for Manny. And Diego was initially going to die at the end, but they thought that would be going too far. Hence why Diego's in all the scenes.
Considering where they took Diego in the fifth movie, I actually wouldn't have minded maybe if they killed him off. But no, you're right. He is a good character. I'm glad he did survive.
Oh yeah, same. Well, and even and I think this film gets the adventure feel so well. Like we not only have a great fight scene with Manny and protecting Sid from the rhinos, but also the dodo scene when Sid saves the melon from the dodo.
Funny scene in the movie.
easily. Well, and them sliding down the ice cave, and the final fight with the sabers is very intense. I have to say. Well, and I think Soto he's my second favorite antagonist of the series, and how ruthless he is, and his villain death is especially dark when he gets stabbed to death by falling icicles.
Oh yeah,
And-
the stalactites. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That knocks him into the rock. Yeah. I always
Yeah.
thought that was kind of freaky. When I was a kid, I used to wince at that scene. I was like, "Oh, you feel the pain of that."
Oh, totally. And
But the other two just bugger off. They're like, "Fuck this."
oh
We're
yeah,
gonna leave.
yeah, they know when they've been beaten. Well, and the ending is a heartwarming when the baby's reunited with his family, and Diego reunites with Maddie and Sid, and then and also one other. And one of the best parts of the soundtrack is the song in the middle, "On My Way," and yeah, that's a good number.
Yeah.
So,
Can I also say, Harry, when the mother dies in the river,
oh yeah,
that music there is, I think, is really beautiful. Actually, it's kind of sad that like her husband never knew. I'm guessing, well, he might have assumed that she died, but he never really knew that his wife died.
yeah, I would agree that music when the mother she gives the baby to Manny and Sid, that was moving too. Yeah, that this really does have more powerful moments than than you'd think. So yeah, I would gonna close off by giving Ice Age a worthy 10 out of 10 and 5 stars out of 5.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we now move on to Louie Benn. Yes.
Hello, everyone. So, like Harry, I love animals. I love prehistoric animals, especially.
You're
so
an
this
animal.
film. I'm a stinky snake. No, I love Ice Age. It was like a core part of my childhood. I had all the figures growing up, and I've got them on VHS. I've got the special edition DVDs. I remember having this one on VHS as a kid, and like the VHS broke and I had to wind it back up. Very good memories. I mean, it's really interesting, this film. Originally, it was actually pitched.
Actually, ice space. And
Huh?
there.
Okay.
Sorry, dude. Can you let Louis speak? Carry on, Louis.
Hello. This film was actually pitched as a serious 2D animation, but then Blue Sky took it on and it became 3D animated, and it became
Evolution.
funnier. The guy who played.
Hello there, peeps. What's going on?
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Holly, it's been a week, and I see we have Harry here, who I've known a couple years. So, Harry, it's an honor to meet you.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Oh, fine, thanks, Jesse. It's an honor.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I mean,
If it's all right, Jesse, we want to keep the flow of this. You're welcome to talk in just a moment. But Louis just.
Yeah, it's no problem. None taken, pal.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, they put a lot more comedy into it, and I think it really works. It's a bit like the early 2000 animated films. You've got some light jokes for the kids and some jokes that are a bit adult that go over kids' heads at the time, but when you rewatch it as an adult, you're like, oh, I see what they did there. You've got some great characters. You've got Manny, Sid, Diego. We have Scrat. Scrat originally was only meant to be in the opening scene, and when the mammoth foot crushed him, he was dead. But they got feedback from test audiences saying that they wanted to see more of Scrat, so he became the legend.
Oh, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, you talk about the first Ice Age?
Yeah, but we're taking
we're
turns.
discussing the.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite films.
Yeah. So yeah,
He,
Harry's having to go. Then Louis is having his. You can go afterwards.
Scrat obviously kind of creates a lot of the dramas for the herd going forward, so it's great they kept him in. It's the same with the Diego. Actually, he was originally dead at the end of the film, but test audiences acted negatively to it. So there is actually a version out there where it ends with Diego being dead.
Yeah,
I'm really
they
glad
still
that-
try to trick you into thinking he's going to die. They have that scene at the end. They manipulate you a bit, but I mean that still works. Would you say?
Yeah, I think it works better than if they had just killed him. It would have been quite bleak. Without repeating what Harry says, obviously it's a group of sub-heroes, zero heroes, who all come together. They're all misfits. You've got Manny the Moody Mammoth, who obviously we get a beautiful scene in the cave where you find out his past and why he's so isolated and so he has such a front. And you have Sid, who's just a comical sidekick,
Yeah.
the caring, sweet guy, and then you have Diego, who is kind of a villain in this film. He's set up as the traitor, but then he kind of redeems himself at the end. And obviously, this is the only Ice Age film with humans. Because you have the baby. I really like the fact there's humans in it. It makes, I know it's a cartoon film about Ice Age animals working together, but it makes it feel more grounded, which I think gets lost in future sequels. It kind of gets watered down to comical, like you have dinosaurs and aliens or whatever. Whereas this is like grounded, and I really like that. It's a shame that the humans never come back. I know
maybe they will in Boiling Point.
I mean, I would hope so, but I doubt it. I mean, humans were the original Ice Age 2, the Meltdown. There was a scene where the boat that they all go on was actually designed by humans, but it got cut from the final script, but it's in the movie book. But no, I think overall the film is paced really well. You've got some great scenes. Like one of my favorite scenes is when they slide down in the ice tunnels, and you kind of get the foreshadowing for the sequels with like the frozen dinosaur. Then you get the UFO. It's like, oh, they've just got all the sequels like were found from there, so that was cool.
Oh yeah, and the fish.
The fish, which obviously is like a hint for the second one, which is all underwater. The lava scene, I think, was great. I remember being really tense watching that as a kid, because I genuinely thought when I first watched it, Manny was dead when he falls down. That was really great. The villains in this film, the Saber Pack, they're really good. They're really good protagonists. Probably the strongest protagonists we get going forward. So yeah, just the perfect film, really. I've got no complaints. A 10 out of 10. 5
Nice.
out of 5. I don't want to repeat basically what Harry said, so I
that's
agree.
fair, man. You're welcome to say it how you wish. It's your say. So
that's pretty much it. 10 out of 10. Yeah, a great film that stands the test of time and put Blue Sky on the map as they deserve to be.
Yeah, amazing. So Jesse, would you like to say your thoughts on the first Ice Age movie?
Oh yes, certainly.
As long as you keep it concise, then that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, since we're talking about Ice Age, I might as well give out my opinions on how I experience it. Yeah,
So just to be clear, we're going in turns. So once you've done yours, I'll do mine. But we're doing movie by movie. So just for now, just the first one, and then we're going to go second, third, fourth, etc. as we go on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I see what you're talking about, so I'll just like leave it right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first Ice Age, yeah, I definitely like love it when I saw it back in the day, and it's still top notch. You know, the best Ice Age movie of all time. I mean, I still love our trio of Sid, Manny, and Diego going onto this adventure. Just trying to like protect this baby from hunters, and also doing their best to like return the baby to the humans, y- which yeah, he was like left from his village when he ran away with his mother, and then the mother vanished, and then it was up to the characters to like take them back to the humans while going in through a bunch of silly obstacle course. So yeah, I mean Sid. Yeah, as for Sid, I mean, I do I do like him as the comic relief and all the funny moments he does. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still it's still yeah, it is still like funny till this day. I mean, it's not like too over the top and stuff. That's
Yeah.
his character.
But probably the funniest of the main films, would you say?
Definitely. Yeah, I pretty much like his quirkiness more than in the later films, but here, I mean, he still got it. I mean, he may annoy Manny and Diego on the way, but he just does it just to like give out good laughs, especially to the audience that watch this. And let's get to Manny. So Manny, yeah, Manny's just pretty much straight up tough guy who's pretty much alone and doesn't have anyone to accompany with until Sid shows up and starts, getting on his nerves on the way, but they do have a good bond. And reason being why he's like this, it's because he had a tragic loss mm, of him losing his family because a bunch of humans killed him. And it was just so dark. Like when you get to the scene in the cave, it does show drawings of other mammoths, and you found out it was Manny and his family. And while they were showing that, it was just touching and heartwarming. Everything was going great until those pesky humans showed up and then killed them. I mean,
Pesky
what?
humans.
Definitely. And then the wife, I mean, he was surrounded on one side, the wife was surrounded on the other. And then, last but not least, his child was surrounded in a dead end. And the worst thing that they did to Manny's child was throw a bunch of rocks at him, which brutally killed him. And also, the wife was killed by spears, which, jeez, it's just so sad for him just to lose, the people that he loved and cherished. And I know what he'd been through, and he's not gonna let that happen to the baby. So he did his best, got the baby back safely to the humans, and that's it. And now he has new friends to tag along the way. And also Diego, yeah, 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 Diego, I do. Yeah, he's also a great character. And at first, I did portray him as the villain because he wanted to like take away the baby just so him and the other tigers can have him for his lunch. But like, the human mother took her away just to protect the baby. But then when Diego met Sid and Manny, I mean, he just decided to tag along with them and have a bond on the way, and decided to become good, faithful, and betray his pesky tiger friends
Mm.
because, jeez, why would anyone want to like hunt down the baby while getting surrounded by humans? That's just sick. But yeah, he did go through a redemption throughout the second to third act and decided to help out Sid and Manny, and then became their friend at the end, just going on to their adventures until and especially in the later movies. So yeah, and also let's get to the other tigers, the villains. Yeah, one is the leader, and pretty much commands every tiger. He just go. I mean, command every tiger he like tells them to do, especially Diego. And he was pretty much furious and just wants the flesh of the humans. I mean, and the fat one is pretty much I'm getting on my nerves, blah blah blah. It's like he does have a purpose to the story, but I do feel like he needed more work. So yeah, and and the third one, the short one who talks funny, is played by Jack Black, and I didn't
Yes,
even know.
thank you for mentioning that because everyone forgets Jack Black was in Ice Age.
Jeez, yeah, I had no idea he was played by Jack Black. I mean, he did have funny lines and stuff, and yeah, I say his acting was just solid here, better than he was in the Minecraft movie,
Oh,
which I freaking despise that film, and it got on my
two
nerves.
words: chicken jockey.
Oh God, dude. I just, yeah, I honestly remember when that happened. It was dreaded. But let's talk about that later. I just want to talk about Jack Black's actor as the tiger. So yeah, he was funny, and then oh, sorry, I mean, oh, sorry, I just got distracted.
That's all right.
So yeah, so it was just like funny when he was like chasing, yeah, chasing Sid around while he was trying to like get the baby. Oh, Oh, sorry, my mom's calling me. I mean, I'm gonna come out for a second and then come back in because I'm getting distracted. So,
No, that's okay. If you need to go,
please, I just want to like get back up.
yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll just say my thoughts. So, Ice Age, the first one, best of the franchise, quite easily, and it's
Oh,
no
easily.
contest, really. I mean, it's yeah, quite obviously, this is the best Ice Age movie, and for me, this is one of the. Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, he's back in.
Oh, sorry, I just had to talk to
Are
my
you back
mom.
now?
But yeah, okay, I want to continue where I left off. So,
That's okay.
okay, I do remember. Yeah, Jack Black as this tiger. Yeah, it just felt silly. I mean, but I believe silly is. I mean, I believe Sid is the best comic relief and does give out laughs. I did like the way when the tiger was chasing Sid around, and then Sid did something smart. He screamed and then got out of the way, and then he trapped the tiger inside of that big hole, and then pushed him. He's like, "Stop, stop, stop!" And then he got stuck, and then Sid and the baby got away. So yeah,
Hmm.
and and last but not least, oh yeah, the humans. I mean, yeah, the humans were like just there, just like get on the journey and stuff, and then they got surprised when the baby came back to them. So that was charming. But I believe they didn't even have more screen time. I mean, they didn't even talk since I know they're cavemen. Since it's set in the prehistoric times where people didn't even have a voice back then until I believe that the 1800s. I'm guessing. So yeah. Oh yeah, and the CGI and special effects do hold up till this day, and it just definitely looks like those old CGI movies that you would get from either Toy Story, Bugs Life, Shrek, Monsters Inc. And in Ice Age, you do have that classic style animation. And let me tell you, do you know this YouTuber Animat? I mean, he uh he said that the animation here is dated, which I don't believe it's dated. It still
Well,
has its
I mean, it
quality.
kind of is. It's dated, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing to say it's dated. It's just by natural time, technology gets better, so it's
Yeah, I
dated
mean,
basically on that reason. But I don't think it's a flaw to say it's dated. You know.
yeah, I do think it needed more work, but I mean, Blue Sky did everything they could, and it still looks good till this day. I mean, it doesn't even look upgraded like in the later movies, but since it was made in the 2000s, this was just new technology and stuff.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna get to the final verdict. Yeah, so the first Ice Age was is still a great film. The first movie from Blue Sky, bring out the just to bring out more quality animated films to this day. And yeah, if they just left Ice Age if for one movie, then it could have been great instead of just making sequel after sequel. But this, it was just telling a simple story, and it worked. It definitely worked. You have a likable story, likable characters. I mean, and especially the whole obstacle course where they did, and funny scenes. They pulled it off, and I was very impressed. And I did saw this back in during my elementary school years, and yeah, it still brings back childhood memories. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say. I mean, this is still a well-made film, and it definitely holds up. So I'm gonna have to give this like a 9 out of 10. Great movie.
Okay. What stops it from being a 10? Just out of interest.
Hmm.
Like what flaws would you say? Because you're obviously not giving it a perfect score, so I'm just curious to know about your
Yeah.
flaw.
Yeah. There's pretty much like two things that needed work. I mean, the designs on the humans, I mean, don't even look that realistic. I mean, their head shapes and body needed more work. I mean, I believe they should have like used technology as what Shrek did when they made human designs and put it in a blue sky film like this one, and and the whole special effects with the backgrounds and stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, when you see the front backgrounds when Sid and I mean when the three trio go around, it looks great. The snow, the rocks and stuff, but the whole background that's far away, like the ice mountains and the atmosphere of the trees do need more work, and it definitely looks like something from a comic book, but fake worthy. But the rest, I didn't even have any problems. they do
Okay.
manage to like pull it off. So yeah.
Cool.
Ollie, sorry to interrupt. I think someone's backstage. They're messaging.
Hmm.
Oh,
Who could
okay.
it?
Thanks for that, Louis.
It's a
Travis.
Travis Stout. Yeah, he's one of my friends from one of my
Yeah.
friends. I mean, one of my other friends' stream. So you can bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, he's a nice guy, but I really can't understand what he says. So I'm
Yeah,
no,
but me neither. It's like sometimes he has like problems pronouncing the right words, and it gets kind of like scribble scramble. It did happen in one of my other friends' stream. Like some people can understand him, but others it gets too
yeah,
complicated, including
yeah.
me.
I'm very sorry. Like, I mean no disrespect. It's just it's difficult to understand him, and
Yeah,
also I want to keep this moving because we're half an hour in, and we've still
yeah,
got like 5
yeah.
more movies to talk
But
about. So.
let me tell you, Ollie, it's not even his fault. It's his disability that.
No, I know it's not, and I'm not trying to be horrible.
No,
I just
no.
I'm trying to be also organized in the hangout because if I let the 5th person in, it's 5 people talking about one thing one after the other, and it will slow down time. I don't want this to be 4 hours long if that's all the same to you.
Yeah,
I don't mind having you in because 4 people I think it's manageable.
yeah, that's definitely a good point. I do respect your own perspective on
Yeah.
what you say.
But anyway, yes, thank you, Jesse. So I'll cut to the chase. Like I said earlier, easily the best of the franchise. No questions asked, no abbreviation needed. This is a very, very good movie. I really like this first Ice Age movie. For me, it's a very funny movie. I think it's hilarious. I think it's the funniest one of the series, but it's got a lot of heart, and I think it's the perfect example of when less is more. When you just when you don't need to have anything more than a simple story, and sometimes films get so wrapped up in being overly complex or convoluted, whereas Ice Age is anything but. It's a simple story about a herd who become a family, and the whole idea of lost family and found family. The fact that Manny is this kind of nomad wandering the Ice Age, I guess depressed, really, like withdrawn, emotionally withdrawn, and meeting Sid and Diego, it sort of, and the baby, it kind of opens his heart up a bit more. And as we've said, that scene with the mural in the cave where we see the vision of the past of when his wife and child were murdered, and it's quite brutal actually. It's quite dark and it's a little emotional. Probably easily the best scene in the franchise. It's just encapsulates his character so well. And I like that Manny, throughout the first 3 movies, has a clear story arc of rebuilding his family. And I feel like that's the message of Ice Age, is that even though things can get destroyed, things can get rebuilt. And in the sense of setting it in the Ice Age, I think there's a nice mirror there, because the ice is melting and, well, actually that's the next one. But because like, there's natural disasters that will kind of nearly destroy the world. There's also like personal disasters, but those can be rebuilt. So I like that message. And that's, to me, the heart of Ice Age. And the 3 lead characters are just brilliant. They have such a great chemistry. Manny is, of course, the heart of the film, but we've also got Diego, who is the, as you said, he's been set up to be a villain, but he goes down a bit of a redemption, a bit of remorse when he gets to know that the baby isn't all that bad, and that he starts to grow a heart and realize that his pack are actually violent animals and should be terminated, should be squashed like bugs. So he turns away from Soto and his brothers, I suppose, his pack brothers. The Sabres are interesting villains, I think. Nice to have a group of villains. I mean, obviously led by Soto, who's a big brute, let's be honest. They just basically want to eat the baby, I guess, is the motivation there. And having Jack Black voice one of them is kind of fun, especially as that was kind of the early days of Jack Black's career in terms of acting. He would obviously, the year after, he'd do School of Rock, then he would do King Kong. So Jack Black would become a big household name, and then obviously go on to be in DreamWorks with Kung Fu Panda. So this, to me, was kind of, I guess, the first major film I saw Jack Black in. Hearing his voice anyway. And this is a fun movie. This is really fun. Like as you said, the ice sliding is great. Manny fighting the rhinos, I love. I love the rhinos. Carl, easy, Frank. And then Sid screaming, ah! Oh, Sid is my favorite character. I have to be honest. Sid is hilarious. And he talks with a lisp. Why? Doesn't anyone love me? Isn't there anyone who cares about Sid the Sloth? Like,
Jeez.
I mean, that could have been a very dangerous move on John Leguizamo's part to perform with a lisp, because people do live with that, and people do, get discriminated against for having that as part of their voice. It's not something they can help. It's just that is what it is. The fact that Leguizamo chose to do that for comedy could have really backfired on him, and people could have been offended by that. But actually, he does it in a way that is sensitive and adds to the character. And I think that actually, without the lisp, Sid wouldn't probably be as iconic. And I think, Sid is actually, he's not as dumb, I think, as people perceive him to be. He does have intelligence. He does have heart. He just acts the fool. And he's clumsy. That's how I see Sid. And he's also a little bit feminine in some regards. But I like the scene where he's having the mud bath with the ladies, and he's showing off the baby to them, and he's just like so desperate to get a woman, which obviously we see more of down the line in the sequels. But yeah, I think again he's very funny, and then when he's trying to pretend to sleep, he's just annoying Manny and Diego, which is brilliant. And then he gets his tongue stuck on the ice, and all sorts. That's right. Where's the baby? And the dodo scene is just amazing. That's that scene is hilarious. The film is short. I mean, it's an hour and 25 minutes. I think it moves at a good pace, and the finale I think is really good when they fight the sabers, and Diego and Sosa have the big fight, and Diego takes the hit. Obviously, as you say, he was meant to die in the original draft of the script, but it was changed. But they still had that kind of emotional scene to manipulate you into thinking he was going to die, but that obviously doesn't happen. Then I kind of like the makeup of this herd, like the three of them, because they are unlikely. The fact is they are very mismatched, and some people might see that as a bit of a flaw of like, oh, they don't work well together as a group. Well, I think that's the point. I think the point is that you don't think they're going to work together as friends, but they do form a good bond, and they do realize they need each other in some weird way, which I think is lovely. My only, I guess, critique of this movie is that there is a lack of a central female character. I know there are the two ladies that Sid has the mud bath with, but they're not really main characters. I know that in the next movie we've got Ellie, so that will be made up for. But in this first movie, there is a lack of female presence here, and I think maybe it would have been nice to just have one female character in this movie. I mean, other than the baby's mother, of course, but she's in it so briefly that you can't really say that. And actually, the scene where the Sabres tried to take the baby actually is one of the scenes I really like. It's quite intense, and when Diego is the one that goes after the baby and then chases the mother to the edge of the cliff, and then she jumps off, obviously protects the baby, but dies in the process. From the force of the fall, she obviously dies, and just so happens to see Manny and Sid there, and they do take the baby, which is a very tender moment. I've always found that very sad, like how we don't see her float away, and then she just disappears, like she's just gone. I think it's actually more powerful that you don't see her kind of drift off. And as you say in the comments, Miles, the ending is wonderful when they give the baby back to his dad. And as Louie mentioned, the volcano scene where Manny saves Diego, brilliant scene. That's one of the best scenes. Because you think for a moment Manny's going to die. And I think by that point, the film's done a good job of getting you introduced and connected to those characters. They have such a good dynamic. But also one character I have to talk about is Scrat. I mean, the thing is, like, the Scrat scenes could have been so distracting and such a tangent from the main story that you almost could tell the film without them. But actually, it's hard to imagine the film without Scrat because he's so iconic and he's so... Well, he's an idiot. He can't hold on to his damn acorn, but it's a joke that will wear very thin very quickly. But the opening scene of this movie is definitely the best Scrat scene. And then, when he lands on the ground and gets trodden on, bless him. He's just born to bad luck, I suppose. And the music score, brilliant. My favorite music score of the series, easily. But yeah, I think, again, my only sort of critique is I would have liked a female character to just add to the dynamic. But aside that, this is a very good movie. Simple, less is more. Very effective, heartwarming, tells a simple yet powerful story. So I'm going to give the movie a 9 out of 10. I think it's a very strong effort there. But 4 years later, they made another one, the first of many. So Harry, would you like to talk to us about Ice Age 2, The Meltdown?
Yes, Ice Age 2. Well, happy 20th anniversary,
Ye-
Ice Age 2.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, it's not as good as the first, but I will say it's honestly a
Well,
solid
it's better than
follow
the
up.
other ones.
Yeah. Oh
Uh, uh,
God, dude, come on. The third one's not even that bad. I mean, I say fourth and fifth pretty much went downhill since people are honestly getting tired of the
Yeah,
franchise.
we'll
And
get
people's
to those.
like, come on.
Yeah. This is certainly. I do agree. This is certainly one of the stronger sequels. I mean, even if it's not quite a patch on the first Ice Age, it doesn't quite have. It doesn't quite have the heart of the first one, but it's satisfactory that this is still a solid follow up, and it's one of one of the better Blue Sky movies, and yeah, and I also. As well as seeing this movie in the cinema at the time, I had the Game Boy game of this film, which
Oh,
was,
did you?
God.
I
yeah.
had the
Oh
PS2
yeah.
Ice Age 2.
I
Oh,
had the
wait.
PS2.
Wait a second. I didn't even know they had a video game about that. I mean, on what
Oh
gaming
yeah.
system did it come? Oh wait, you said on the.
Various platforms, like obviously Game Boy Advance. I think even Nintendo DS, Ice Age 2.
Oh,
I think I
Yeah.
had
I
Ice Age
see.
2 on DS and PS2.
And let me tell you, did you know that Scrat also had a cameo on Family Guy? And then Peter was like, "No, is this my acorn?" And then Scrat just pretty much attacks Peter.
Oh
Yeah,
Yeah.
really? Oh, that's hilarious.
it happened. It
Uh,
makes
uh,
sense. It makes sense because both Family Guy and Ice Age are owned by 20th Century Fox, so that's why they
Yeah.
added that.
yeah. Yeah, of course. So yeah, that was inevitable. They were going to put that in Family Guy, but yeah, and also I think that's well, one thing this film does up from the first film is the animation. Yeah, the animation is
Oh,
certainly up to here, especially during the third act, when the flood happens, and
jeez.
well, I think the water effects in this movie still look stellar.
Oh,
20 years
oh.
later,
Yeah.
and this film,
Mhm.
it's slightly different in tone in that it's we move from winter to spring, so you
Jeez.
certainly feel like the climate has gotten warmer, and also I think not only is the conflict like more of an end of the world conflict, even more than the first film, but also Manny's conflict is still good here in that the others in the herd are convinced he is the last mammoth to exist, of course, which thankfully is not the case because Manny gets a girlfriend in the form of the lovable
Jeez.
Ellie. Yes,
Full of Queen Latifah, baby.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh yeah.
I say she did a great job on that film. Doing her voice impressions, funny moments when she
Mm.
was with Crash and Eddie, and also the backstory
Yeah.
that they gave was heartwarming, and I did feel for her, and she did have a great relationship with Manny and stuff. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah, Ellie, she's wonderful, and like you say, you do feel for her how she was separated from her mammoth herd, obviously, and was taken in by her possum mother and two possum brothers, Eddie and Crash, who are actually funny in this film, unlike in some of the other sequels.
Yeah,
And
definitely. I mean, their jokes. I mean, they didn't even annoy me that much. I mean, I still think they're pretty much the funny comic reliefs up there with Sid. But yeah, I do agree on what they did to him and did to them in the later movies. They honestly feel like Looney Tunes characters that will pretty much poison your mind
Yeah.
and make you say, "Stop it! Just freaking get him
Yeah.
out of here."
You can go into that when you get your
yeah,
turn. Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah.
in the second movie, yeah, they pretty much still have their quirky moments. But
Yeah.
that's all I can say.
Totally. Hear that they are actually done well, and and also, and Ellie, of course, is convinced that she's under the delusion that she's a possum, just like Buzz Lightyear was under the delusion that he was a real space ranger and not a toy. But and Manny is trying to convince her that she's a mammoth, and he's convinced that it's up to them to reproduce and bring the mammoths back, and she doesn't take it well. She's like, "You're not saving the species tonight or any other night."
Oh, nice.
Well,
there's your butt. It's big.
Oh, man, and they even mentioned a butt joke, which is kind of too adult, but I'm guessing kids pretty much enjoy it as long as if it's not too inappropriate.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was actually kind of sweet. Well, and it's also sweet that Manny realizes, he doesn't need to be with Ellie because he has to, but because he wants to. And also, even Diego has some personal inner conflict with his fear of water, and how Sid teaches him to overcome his fear of water by it's giving him swimming lessons, essentially, stalking the prey.
Oh, yeah.
Kick.
Okay.
Wait.
And then I'm breathing.
Oh god. Wait, and do you remember there were two jokes that Manny did? He was like, he actually said a cuss word saying, "Oh, the wild ass boy made it to his wild ass mother." Like, geez, and then there was another one when Manny was like, "Oh, I'll be the daddy, Ellie will be the mommy, and Diego will be the uncle who eats the kids that get on my nerves."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. They were some of the best jokes. Well, and he also Sid feels like he's not getting the respect he deserves because he was the founder of the herd after all. But he finally gets worshipped like a god by a tribe of mini Sloths that's come out of nowhere and start to mimic his every move, and even call him Fire King, try to sacrifice the Fire King. Yes, that scene. I know it feels like filler, but it's so damn funny. That's I just love it so much.
And what was the reason of them trying to kill Sid? Like, come on, okay, you want to sacrifice someone, but come on, Sid is a well-known character, and they even had these fire people trying to like kill them just so they could, I don't know, abandon the whole herd. Like, please, why Sid? Why did it have to be Sid?
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. But although and also the Scratzer scenes, I don't think they quite they don't quite come close to the Scrat scenes in the first film. But it is. But we do know that Scrat he causes the ice wall around the valley to weaken, so kind of starts the flood, and he also saves the day when he creates a crack in the wall, and the flood goes away, and Scrat drowns in the process. So he goes to heaven, only to be revived by Sis.
Seriously, like. I mean, if they left like Scrat in the afterlife, he would have been like happy because his death was pretty much, a true meaning, and seeing that Sid bringing him back was just ridiculous, and then he had every right to like attack Sid. He's like like that, like jeez.
Oh yeah, I totally get that because Scrat would have been happy with his acorn. Although probably the best Scrat scene in the film is when he's protecting his acorn from the piranhas, and he goes all kung fu berserk on them. Well, and also I do. As for flaws, I think the villains of this film are way weaker than the villains of the first film. We only get two prehistoric sea monsters, and they're hardly in the film. And although, I mean, even the vultures don't have a lot of presence, although they do.
They should have been
get-
villains, really.
Like seriously, that vulture honestly looks like the other vulture from Horton Hears a Who, but in this, I mean, he pretty much is not copying the formula from that other film. He's pretty much his own character, warning the people about the end of the world, that the ice is melting.
Yeah, kind of. Although the glorious food scene, that was the vulture's a standout scene in the film. Also, go and watch Ollie's short film, Food, Glorious Food. It's awesome.
wow.
By the way.
Bless you.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite scene. I was like laughing so hard when they were all like, "Food, glorious food," and then they had Sid dancing. Like, what are you even doing? Come on, you're not a vulture.
Food, glorious food.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, and finally, I think probably the best scene of the film is the return of the mammoths, and the return of the mammoths is the best score that John Pell did for this film. Yeah,
Beautiful music.
I'll say, and so yeah, Ice Age 2. It's not a bad effort for the first of the sequels. I mean, I'd take it over the majority of the sequels any day. So I'm going to close off by giving Ice Age 2: The Meltdown a 7 out of 10 and 3 stars out of 5.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
Nice, man.
Okay, so we'll now move over to Luis.
Salut. This film for me again holds a lot of nostalgia. I remember being in year 2 when this came out, and I was hyped. I bought all the figures,
All the piranhas.
They used to have it was like an ice circle, like one of the ice slides from the beginning of the film, and you used to be able to put the characters on these ice blocks and then they would spin round. I had all of those. I was obsessed. I couldn't wait for this film to come out. I remember seeing it in cinemas and just absolutely loving it. For me, I do actually think scratch scenes are funnier in this one. I like his story. He kind of gets a little story arc in this one where not only is he trying to find the nut, he kind of causes the whole flood. And then at the end, obviously, you get the women.
I do agree. He feeds more into the plot of this one than the first one.
Yeah, and I really like that. I love the character dynamics in this one. Everyone's got their own arc. Diego's scared of swimming, even though he did run in water in the first film, but we let that go. Like Happy said, Sid's trying to get some respect from the group. Manny's feeling lonely. He's the last of his kind, possibly. Then we're introduced to Ellie. She's great in this film. And like Ollie said, like his wish for the first one was to have a female character. Well, you get that with Ellie in this one. She thinks she's a possum, which is just hilarious.
When they're playing dead.
Yeah, playing the dead is hilarious. He's like, come on. They didn't see you.
Manny, why don't you do that? Because I'm a mammoth. You do it for treats, right?
I think this is probably one of the funniest films. I think the humor's a bit more silly in this one. The tone, like for all the sequels, it goes a little less serious. But it's okay in this one, I think. Yeah, we don't really have villains. We've got Cretaceous and I can't remember what the other one's called, Marston or something. The mosasaur and the swimming reptile.
Yeah, the sea monsters.
Yeah, they don't really do anything. They're frozen dinosaurs that got defrosted, and it's okay. Like they bring some tension, and they have that really scary scene where they eat stew.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got some great characters like Fast Tony. He's really funny. It would have been nice to have had him back actually.
Dude. Hey, I can smell the ocean.
Poor Stu, he died. Which is, as a kid, that used to terrify me. I really like the scene with Scrat and the piranhas. He's like, ha! That's hilarious. I remember that being on all the posters at the time. A really great scene. The food, glorious food, is just brilliant. It's a bit cheesy, but it's funny.
I mean, you could have actually taken that out and it wouldn't have affected the story, but it's kind of a funny gag, I suppose.
I think it really works. I love the scene as well, where it's like, I'll save you! And then Sid gets knocked out. They're like, oh, great, who's going to save him?
That's one of the best bits. Who's going to save him?
Like, Clark, kick. I'm stuck in the prey. I love that Manny kind of continues his arc of him kind of getting over his family and he's not alone anymore. And then at the end, all the mammoths come back, but he's like, "I want to be with you, Ellie," and it's like, "Oh, that was great." It's a really sweet film. You get some tension with like the scene where they're all on the rocks. That's great. I think, although the first film is a lot more emotional, you have that really emotional scene with Manny. I do think you get a kind of not as emotional, but you get a powerful scene where you get Ellie's flashback, where it's like how she found the possums and she was orphaned and she kind of found this family. I think that's really sweet, and I think it is quite emotional. So yeah, overall, this is probably my favourite of the sequels. I've probably seen this film more than any of the others because it was like my favourite film at the time. Is it a 10 out of 10? No, it's not perfect. It could have a few tweaks here and there, but I really enjoyed it for what it was, and the Fire King stuff was hilarious as well. And then at the end, where Scrap beats up Sid, and they kind of have a little rivalry throughout the rest of the film.
I saved you, little buddy.
He's like, ah! And the score for this one, I love the music. It's really great. So for me, I would say this is a 9 out of 10. I love it.
Woo. Oh, and can I also mention, Louie, that this was released in the a year before Primeval.
It was, and I just think it's a real shame they never did an episode where an anomaly opened and Scrap came through and destroyed the.
Or like Sid was there and saying, "Look, the fish."
Helen, stop staring, Sid, and pass me a towel.
Oh. Anyway,
yeah, great, a good sequel. As sequels go, I think this is one of the better ones.
Oh yes, we'll get to the crappier ones later. So, Jesse, you want to give us your brief thoughts on Ice Age 2?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so Ice Age 2, I wouldn't say it's a perfect film, and it is a good follow-up to the first. I mean, it did try elements that try to stay true to the original, but I'll definitely like give it a pass. So I'm about to like tell you my thoughts. I mean, yeah, I do like the part when when Sid, Manny, and Diego were having their moments, and then Sid Sid was like, "Oh, you gotta like show me some respect," and then Manny was like, "Oh, the only respect you're gonna get is respect from the dead." Like, jeez, that was just dark on what he said. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he does have a point. Like, Sid was about to risk his life trying to teach him, oh, he's the man, he can do everything on his own, but come on, he almost died when he went down that slide. And then yeah, you got all the ice on top
Yeah.
that's melting, and then Manny was trying to warn
Can I ask a
everyone.
question? Like, do you think Sid actually ever gets the respect? I don't actually know if he does. If they ever do kind of acknowledge his story arc in the end. I mean, yeah, the little sloths show him respect, but the herd, they
Oh,
don't really seem to change very much in
yeah,
terms
I
of their
mean,
opinions of him.
yeah, because they mostly see Sid as this quirky comic relief character who just gives out the laughs. I mean, I don't find him
He's
to
so full
be.
of shit.
Yeah, yeah, they all find him just to be the same old sloth who does the shenanigans, while the other characters have to be there just to like either confront him, reason with him, or like just back him up. So that's all I can say.
Yeah.
And and yeah, okay, through that, I mean, Manny was trying to like warn everyone that the dam's gonna break and then there's gonna be a flood going on, so they gotta leave. And then they all just laugh at him. But once that vulture came, I mean, they all listened to him, and he's like, "Oh, look around you, oh, like this and that." And then yeah, they all believed the vulture, and then they all had to like evacuate just to like get, just like get away. And then Sid was singing three songs that got in Manny's nerves. And he's like, if your species has to clap your hands. And then, and then
I'm
Manny
gonna
was
fall
like,
on you again, and this time I will kill you.
yeah. Oh my God.
Someone doesn't like the classics.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely got on Manny's nerves. And he really wanted until wanted to like take down Sid so badly. Like,
I
yeah,
see Manny and Sid as a bit like Shrek and Donkey, you know. There's
yeah,
that kind of-
definitely. But I believe they're on a whole nother level in this movie. This time, Manny is gonna choose death over torturing Sid. Oh God. But anyways, once they get to their journey, I mean, everything has been going well, and then Manny finds another female sloth who thinks he's a possum named Ellie, and then you got Scrat and I mean not Scrat, Crash and Eddie doing their shenanigans, do this, do that, and then they all meet, they all talk, and then they continue with their journey.
I
And
believe I can fly.
oh yeah, yeah, and then Ellie, she finds out that, I mean, yeah, Ellie thinks that
That she's a
she's a
possum.
possum. Like, come on, you're better than this. Just because you
You
were
know,
raped.
one of my favorite jokes, Jesse, is when he goes, "I don't think our tree goes all the way to the top branch."
What? Oh God,
That's a good joke.
definitely. And even though she's a mammoth, she doesn't even know it. I mean, how could she even use like her tail to like, hang up on one of these trees that heavy? I mean, a tree like that can pretty much fall on you because you're a heavyweight mammoth.
Yeah. Well, she's been spending so much time with possums that she's forgotten how her own kind behaves. So it makes sense. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and seeing her with those possum kind of makes them feel like a family, like brother and sisters. Since yeah, and then once they like, yeah, once they continued their journey, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, Manny was telling Ellie that their footprints are the same, and then like Ellie thought that
You're
how
part
do I?
possum.
Yeah, yeah, that one. L- Yeah, that's definitely the funny one. I mean, okay, I'm about to like cut to the chase. I mean, yeah, I want to get to the part when they get to nightfall, and then yeah, Maddie and Ellie pretty much like talk a bunch of stuff, and then like Ellie pretty much went to the homeland where she was raised in, and then showed her backstory and when she was abandoned by her own kind, and then yeah, she was suffering in that snow, which jeez, r- that pretty much got me into tears. Like seeing mammoths like this abandoned is just sad. Like why would anyone want to do that to their kind? And then she got into to the she got inside to the tree that to warm up, and then found three possums that were pretty much raising her throughout these years. And yeah, looks like she like found a family that she pretty much wanted to comfort. I mean, it was just to find comfort and give Ellie a life. So yeah,
Hmm.
and then she discovered the truth that she is a mammoth and that she is part of Manny and the other mammoth's kind. So yeah, I mean, so she felt special about it. And then Manny pretty much, uh, yeah, Manny was like talking to Ellie on what mammoths do, and it was going great until Manny was talking about Ellie's butt, which pretty much felt like an inappropriate joke that they put in because usually you don't get that in kids movies, but
No, I guess he was flirting, wasn't he?
yeah, definitely. But like, yeah, Manny was like giving Ellie a compliment and she liked it, so it didn't feel all perverted and stuff. and and then there was one line when one of the possums said pervert, like jeez, play pervert in a kids movie, like man, that is just sick. And then they're all walking, and then something was going wrong. And look, that path was a giant wood that was just spinning around and worrying that they were gonna fall to their death. And then like one of the mammoths had to like apologize to each other about what they said. And then yeah, everything went while they were doing that, everything was going great. They made up and then got to the other side. And then next, we're gonna get to the Sid part. Yeah, so Sid pretty much just woke up, and then he was like being taken away by a bunch of I mean not possums, other sloths. And then made Sid the Fire King. And then my number one moment that Sid was doing was the whole dance where it goes and then go rah, 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 and then go bing boy bing boy bing boy bing boy. Yeah. And let me tell you, this whole dance scene with Sid and the Slots became a meme, which it inspired everyone to do the same in real life. Like that was just, great. I mean, it really pulled it off. And then the worst thing that they were gonna do is tie up Sid, and then Sid was questioning one of the Sloths, and then she was like, "Sacrifice the Fire King," and then yeah, Sid was about to fall to his death, and jeez, he almost did until he got saved by something, and then woke up, and then Sid pretty much told everyone, "Oh, oh, that there were other Sloths and they worshiped me, but they didn't believe Sid." Like, my God, can't you like
Well, it's
trust
kind of a
Sid
hard
once?
thing to believe, really. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not something that happens every day. So I wouldn't believe him if he told me.
yeah, definitely. As we were watching Sid throughout this movie, I mean, yeah, he may have his funniness, but he does have a heart. I mean, when something truthful goes inside him, and if he sees a real event, like you gotta like believe him. But unfortunately, the other characters don't. Like he just they just think that he's just making up stories as he usually does. Like, come on, that's not how you treat Sid. Come on. Okay, so the next part, as they were continuing their journey, the vultures came in and there was like food, glorious food, and then the other ones came, just to like sing, do their quirky dance, which made me laugh. And then they were worried that they're all gonna die and stuff, and then like they were all doing their Broadway musical performance, and then Sid came in and did that quirky dance with his hands like this in the middle, and then tapping in his feet like click click click. Click. Like, come on, Sid, you're supposed to be surviving and joining and trying to like lead a herd to their safety, not just performing for a Broadway musical with those other vultures. Like, come on. You're trying to be like silly all the time. And then once they got to their journey after that, the whole food, glorious food, and then Sid was like, hey, I'm like, come on, it's catchy. Like, get used to it. They made it to the they made it to the place, that giant wooden boat, and then guess what? Those geysers, those hot steams were coming. I mean, they were pouring up like, which signals them that they were going to be in danger. And then Ellie was like, "Oh, we should take a detour," and then stuff, and then it's gonna be safer. And then Manny was like, "It's best that we go forward, back." And then Diego was like, "Can I say something?" No, like, come on. And then Ellie like pretty much took the slots, took the detour, and then put themselves in danger, while Sid and the rest of the trio continued throughout the hot steam, and then, ooh. Randy got surrounded and they couldn't even see, and then they continue. Is like, we gotta go. And then they got to the boat, and then everybody was like, "Oh, have you seen this mammoth, this possum?" Which they sensed that Ellie is in trouble, and then they went back to them. They drowned, and then they were about to get attacked by those two sea monsters. Like, jeez. And yeah, and I'm about to talk about the sea monsters. They don't. I mean, I do see them as villains, but they're not great villains, since all they do is just like hunt our main characters to try to kill them. Like, m- but then like Manny pretty much defeated them all at once without them getting killed. Like, those monsters were frozen in the ice for so long, and then I'm guessing like the sun pretty much melted them, and then they went under the river, just starting to like hunt them down for some reason. So yeah, let's go to the chase them. So Manny yeah, Manny saved Ellie, and then the whole dam cracked, and then Scrat. Yeah, Scrat had his acorn and pretty much was the cause of all of this. But then like he saves everyone, falls into his ground, and then dies, and then everybody was like safe and sound, the whole family and stuff. And then one thing's important. Um, they discovered a bunch of other mammoths walking by, which surprised Manny and Ellie. And then the song would go doo 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 doo. And then they were just walking around, and then Manny and Ellie were about to go with them, but Manny realizes that he wants to stay with his herd slash family and didn't want to like go with the other mammoths. I mean, it made seem that he found his own kind, and they weren't the only ones anymore. But he needed more than that. He needed Sid and Diego, and then stay with them. And then later on, Ellie decided to go with them at the same time. And then they walk in the sunset, and then the movie ends there. And then Scrat pretty much end up in heaven with all the acorns, which honestly went great because throughout the film, I mean, Scrat pretty much had to sacrifice. I mean, first of all, he was doing his quirkiness, which was funny. He fought a bunch of piranhas, which like I didn't even know like Scrat learned martial arts, and he really pulled it off, like the hiya hiya, and then jeez, he pretty much pulled it off. And then like after that, yeah, like what I said, I mean the whole ice thing, he breaks it, then he saves people, and then he ended up, and then he's now in the after like hugging the acorns, and then a vacuum cleaner came and then and then like Sid saved him, and then Scrat got mad and then pretty much fought Sid, and then the movie ends right there. Oh boy, that was just everything that I just talked about. Okay, my final verdict. Yeah, this was a good follow up to the first movie. I mean, not great, but it still had its good moments, and I did like the way it was made. Oh yeah, and last but not least, the animation. The animation in this movie was a huge upgrade from the first one, and it did add details which felt more real, like the fur on the characters, especially our main ones, felt realistic. The backgrounds were pretty much more top notch, and yeah, everything else with the animation just looks great. I mean, it did have that new technology and stuff, and it still holds up to this day. So. Yeah, this was a good and fun film, and I will definitely say it's one of the most enjoyable films that you would get from an Ice Age movie, and pretty much worth your time. So, I definitely give this like a 7 out of 10. So yeah,
Okay, thanks very much, Jesse.
thank
I
you.
may
And
have to ask you for the next few films to be a little bit more concise because the time is, we've been
ooh,
over an hour and it's only on
oh,
the second
oh
movie.
yes,
So
it's no problem, pal.
sorry.
And look, apologies if I spoke for so long. I just want to like
No,
get
it's
into
fine. You don't have to apologize, but I'm just trying to make sure we don't go ridiculously long with this.
Oh,
But you're more than welcome to have your say. Absolutely.
oh, well, thank
Um,
you, pal. Well,
no,
anyways, let's get to the next films.
fine. Yeah. So I'll just do my thoughts, but I'll be brief. Okay, Ice Age 2: The Meltdown. Now, this was the first one I saw at the cinema. I don't think I was old enough to see the first one, or I don't think I did see the first one when it came out on the big screen. I have seen it since when it was re-released, but as a kid, I think I first saw it on DVD. But Ice Age 2, I remember quite clearly. It came out. I think it was April or March 2006. I had just turned 9, and I remember really enjoying this movie as a kid. Over time, I have come to sort of see this movie's very flawed. To me, Ice Age 2 is a mixed bag of a sequel. It is good, it's enjoyable, but I don't think it's perfect. It's certainly a big step down from the first one, but it's a lot better than what's to come. The movie does have its heart, and again, much like the first one, it's a simple story, but this one is more about survival. And I guess kind of identity as well, sort of accepting who you are in a lot of ways. And I think there's a lot to do with that is Manny and Ellie's romance and Ellie's existentialism with her identity. You know, the fact that she's under this delusion that she is a possum, but she's obviously not. So exploring Ellie as a character, I think, is interesting. I think this movie obviously did give us that female character that we probably needed in the first one, and that was Ellie. And I think Ellie is a wonderful character. She's funny, she's quirky, and I like that she's kind of odd in that regard. Like when she thinks she's a possum, I think it makes her funny. You know, she's not just this kind of sap who's a love interest. There's a lot more to her, and she resists Manny. She resists the sort of the pull towards him in terms of like, because they think they're the last of their kind, you know, oh, we have to save the species, so we have to like procreate. And she's not up for that. She's not up for being used. So I like that. I think she's a very strong character. She stands her ground there. And I think Manny is a bit of a jerk in certain instances. But then he was always kind of like that. He always had a bit of a kind of cruel, slightly blunt side to him. But it's nice to see Manny kind of open up a bit more and go a little bit more squishy, because he does fall for her. And I think it's sweet at the end how he tries to mirror her when he's hanging upside down. He tries to incorporate a bit of her personality into his life. And when he says, you know, I want to be together because I want to be with you, and I want to be with you. And I think that's really sweet how they do get together in the end. And she says, you're possum enough for me. And I like that. They do end up becoming quite a good match for each other, which is really, really sweet. And again, her backstory is, again, simple but effective. And it's probably the most tender moment of the movie. I think the movie could have used a lot more of an emotional punch. It definitely lacks the emotional punch the first one had. We don't get a scene like the mural scene. I mean, Ellie's backstory is nice, but it's not. I mean, you're not going to cry over it. It's a tender moment, but you very quickly kind of move on from it. They don't linger on it too much. For me, the movie focuses a bit too much on the comedy, and some of the story arcs feel kind of thin. Like Sid's story arc, to me, about gaining respect doesn't feel resolved. I know they tried to add in the Fire King scene and the tribe of mini sloths, but to me that felt kind of too unnecessary. I mean, it was funny to a point, but I feel like they kind of, I think it was kind of like they took the point a bit too far. I think there should have been a moment where the herd apologized to Sid and realized that he was worthy of their respect, but because they just kind of go back to how they were at the beginning, and it just doesn't, for me, it doesn't go anywhere. Diego's story arc is good. I like his fear of water. I mean, it's not as strong as his story arc in the first one, but it's a decent story arc, and I think for his place in the movie, it's a good place. And I love that scene where he does save Sid after Sid tries to to save Crash and Eddie. I'll save you, and he hits his head on the ice. That is funny, actually. So Diego's great. So yeah, the three leads that we had in the first one, they're very good, and again, the new characters blending quite well. I think Crash and Eddie, this is probably my favorite appearance of them. They do. I mean, they're fine. I don't mind them as characters, but I feel like they're at their worst in the Buckwild film. But we'll get to that later down the line. But I think that they're a good double act, and obviously you've got Sean William Scott from American Pie and Josh Peck from Drake and Josh. So they're two very good actors who differentiate very nicely. And I love that scene. You guys haven't talked about it yet. The scene where Sid and Diego fight Crash and Eddie, where they tried to like knock them in the holes. You know, that scene where it's kind of like a game of Twister. Like they put their hands and feet on the holes to try and stop them from traveling everywhere. That was funny. Yeah. I did enjoy that. To be honest, Ice Age 2, I guess, to me, it feels, I mean, the story is like The Flood. It's a more end of the world natural disaster movie, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I just feel like there's a lack of impact with this film. It feels like there could have been so much more. I mean, I get where Louie's coming from with the nostalgia thing, but I just feel like for me, there's not as much emotional impact. Other than Manny and Ellie's relationship, the actual climax of the film to me is lower stakes than it was in the first movie. Because in the first movie, you had the baby. That was the center of the plot. And they wanted to protect the baby, but it was also Diego's arc in that he was betraying his own kind to help them. So you felt the emotional stake there. With this, they're just getting attacked by two sea monsters, and the ice just is melting, and that's it. There's not really much else to to kind of take away from that. So I don't know. And the sea monsters, yeah, to me they're pathetic villains. They're pathetic. I mean, I'm not saying we needed to have another Soto, but at least the character would have been nice. I think not having a central antagonist in the movie, I think hurts it personally. You may disagree with that, and that's fair enough. But I still think maybe the vultures should have been the villains. They should have maybe orchestrated the flood instead of Scrap. But I guess they wanted to make Scrap more relevant to the plot. But,
And
you know, sorry.
and look, Oh, sorry. Look, and my main problem on those sea monsters is they didn't even give them a voice. Like seriously, it's an Ice Age movie, so all characters who are animals need to have voices, just like our main herd, and
Yeah,
especially the others. I mean,
it's
yeah,
funny you say that, because that reminds me of the film Dinosaur, where they made all the main heroes talk, yet the Carnivores didn't say a word. So it's kind of like that instance, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just didn't feel much from them, and I feel like, again, the humor. I mean, it is funny. There are some good jokes in there, but like I said, some of the jokes, like the Fire King and everything, just get taken a bit too far for me, and it didn't sort of land as much. But humor's not as smart as it is in the first one. There are a couple of poopy jokes, farty jokes, but not as much as the latest sequels. But I still think this movie was decent, and the ending where the mammoths reappear is quite nice, actually, and the music score, I think, is wonderful for this film. The John Powell score is great. I mean, I do miss the score from the first one, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, you know, I can't lie when I say that it's pretty powerful the way the film ends. And yeah, the Scrat stuff I think is good. I do think he's better in the first one. I think with Scrat, to be honest, less is more. I think if you use him sparingly, it's funnier. If you overuse him, which they will do in the sequels, it loses its charm straight away. But I mean, overall, like it is a good movie. The glorious food scene, I have to talk about that. That sequence to me is the most funny yet unnecessary scene in this movie. Like, you could take that scene out, and it does not make any difference to the plot whatsoever. It's clearly there to be a joke, and again, maybe it's a little too far. They have the whole damn number in there, but I mean, I did laugh at it. It was quite amusing, but it comes out of nowhere. Them singing "Food, Glorious Food," but I'll take it. You know, compared to what we get in some of the later stuff, I will take it. So I won't dwell on it too much because we've got other movies to get to. So I'll just finish up by giving Ice Age 2 a 7 out of 10. I think it's a decent movie. It's a mixed bag. Like I said, the plot is simple enough, yet there's just some... the writing isn't as strong, put it that way. And the emotional impact could have been stronger. But on the whole, it was fine, you know. But now we move on to Ice Age 3.
oh yes,
Dinosaurs. So,
definitely.
Yeah, Harry, can you do the dinosaur?
I sure can. I mean, well, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I mean, but personally, I think this is the most overrated of the Ice Age sequels. Like, I really don't get why the majority rate this as the best. For me, this film, it's okay at best, but I think of the first three.
Oh my god! But Harry, would you say this is better than Buck Wild? Because at least in this film, you do have that great animation, and while the other one is just a CGI sloth.
Is that a trick question, Jesse?
Yeah. Of course, it's better than the Buck Wild film. There's no comparison. And
The
like,
Buck Wild film doesn't even exist.
Yeah, like seriously, what was like Disney freaking ruined the whole franchise? Like, if they own the whole thing from Blue Sky, like it's not even theirs. Like, just throw it out and give it back to the original studio.
Yeah, exactly. That this film, it kicks the crap out of Adventures of Buck Wild any day. But
and last but not least, before I let you review the movie, I'm never gonna forgive Disney for shutting down Blue Sky. Like, they're the true monsters on getting rid of the studio that we've been like watching their movies for a long time, just making it their own. Like, that's just a shame.
yeah, shame on Disney for what they did to Blue Sky. But but I mean, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. It may be my least favorite of the first three, but it's but there are worse sequels in this franchise, and you know that's but Lady Bird in Ice Age 2 when she points out to Manny, what about the dinosaurs? And Manny's like, the dinosaurs got cocky, they made enemies. Or you can tell that Blue Sky and Fox took inspiration from that. They were like, oh, let's bring dinosaurs into the third movie, and thus we get one of the fan favorite locations in the franchise, the underground dinosaur world. And also, this film is a little less of an end of the world plot in comparison to the Meltdown, and it is a little more personal, like the first film. And Sid gets to be a bit more of the main character this time, which works fine. It just doesn't have the emotional impact for me with him, becoming like
Mama Sid.
Yeah, Mama Sid becoming like an adopted parent to the 3 T-Rex triplets. Like he kind of freaking stole that mother T-Rex's eggs. So she had every right to be pissed and take him away to dinosaur world, as far as I'm concerned. But also Manny and Ellie becoming parents, that's my favourite storyline in the film, and them having their lovely daughter Peaches. That was
Peaches. I love you.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
the Mario movie, like I do enjoy it.
oh yeah, that's the best song from the Mario movies. But but Peaches' Bertha, that's the heart of the film, and of course we'll see her become a teenager in the later sequels. And it's great that Manny, he's got a kid again, and he is of course very protective of Ellie, and also. Even though Diego feels more sidelined in this one, he doesn't have as much of a storyline. And
he wants to leave. He knows that the other sequels are coming, and he doesn't want in.
And he feels like this hunter that just wants to be alone without being with his family. Like, you can't even do that. What if they need your help? Like, what if they need backup? Like, you got to be there for them. You're a vicious tiger, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he proved to come in handy when he was protecting Elia from the raptors as she was giving birth.
You have no idea what I'm going through.
Literally. Oh yeah, some of the innuendos and rude humor in this movie does go a little far when Sid he points out to this beaver lady about her stomach being big, and she's like, "I'm not pregnant." Oh, that was very cringe to me.
Oh my
God. Yeah,
Oh,
and then also them being stuck in the chasm of death and laughing in high-pitched, squeaky voices. That was really unfunny to me.
Maybe this was the point when Ice Age started to get a bit silly.
Yeah, exactly. The tone started to get more silly. Yeah.
And did you know that when Crash and Eddie were doing those squeaky voices, it feels like I'm hearing, Alvin and the Chipmunks just singing their songs. It's like Crash and Eddie are trying to mimic the voice like what the Chipmunks did, like, "Oh, Christmas time is here." Like, jeez.
Yeah.
Dude, you wet my bed? That was gas talk, dude.
Oh God, yeah. There's a wetting bed joke in this film. How funny. Also this was the film that we got one of the fan favorites characters, Buck, the weasel, voiced by Simon Pegg, and in this film, this is his best film in the series, and he does have kind of an interesting backstory how Rudy, this predatory dinosaur, took his eye, and he in turn stole Rudy's tooth and used that as his knife. But he's really their guide throughout the dinosaur world, and even though I do think the later sequels would overuse him, this was when he was at his best. But I thought Eddie and Crasher were a lot more insufferable in this film than they were in the Meltdown, and also I think that Rudy, he's an okay villain, but he should have been in it more. I'll
give it this, Harry. Unlike the sea monsters, there is something. Like there's a character name, there's a backstory. Even if it's simple, there's something. Unlike the sea monsters, would you agree Rudy's better than them?
Yeah, I guess he's a slight step up from the sea monsters. I mean, and I guess he has decent build up to him, but I do wish he was in the film more. He just gets he just shows up briefly in the climax and then the mother T-Rex shows up and easily overpowers him, and that's it.
Definitely.
But then, so yeah. Oh, well, but the Walk the Dinosaur song, yeah, that was a jam. Yeah, that's a
Definitely.
fun number. Yeah.
Um, uh, Harry, about let me tell you, Harry, about Rudy not having screen time. Yeah,
Yeah.
let me tell you, he couldn't he could have been the main villain. He could have been like something that that the main character will be afraid of, and then have this hero to like beat him down. That's what the dinosaur did. So, yeah, yeah, he looks more scary, terrifying, and yeah, Buck was pretty much not. I mean, Buck pretty much felt more fearless and did everything he could, but all he did is punch his tooth, and that's it. Oh, and last but not least, Rudy for him not having screen time does remind me of when Godzilla didn't have any screen time in the 2014 movie. That's how I see it in this movie.
I mean, not as bad as that, but yeah.
Yeah, at least he's not as wasted as Godzilla and Gareth Edwards' Godzilla. But yeah, I
Yep.
get where you're coming from.
All
But
right, yeah,
so
continue,
overall,
continue.
I'd say, yeah, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. This is the point where you could tell Blue Sky and Fox were kind of getting tired of Ice Age now, and if they were, it was really getting more comedic and more kid friendly. But still, if I could see why most people would have wanted the series to end here. Yeah, I'll still I'll still take it as a a fun adventure film for what this is. But yeah, it's certainly not an Ice Age movie that I rush back to. Yeah. So overall, I'm going to rate Ice Age 2: The Meltdown. Yeah, a 5 out of 10
Whoa.
and two
Hang on.
two stars out of 5.
You said Ice Age 2. You mean Ice Age 3?
Sorry, Ice Age 3,
dude.
Yeah,
you got,
sorry,
gotta
3.
pronounce it right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So sorry, I'd give Ice Age 3 5 out of 10 and 2 stars out of 5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a mediocre score right there, but I do respect that.
Yeah.
Mediocre.
No, that's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions, man. And
Yeah,
just to say before we move on to Jesse, Louie had to go abruptly. He said something came up, so thank you,
Okay.
Louie, for coming on. But
yeah, it's no problem. I mean, if he has to like do something or pretty much has to like wait until the next day to join, well, that's totally fine by us.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, Jesse, you do talk about Ice Age 3.
Oh, of course. Yeah, so Dawn of the Dinosaurs, yeah, I say it's definitely one of the better Ice Age films since yeah, it's definitely a step up from the second with huge improvements. I gotta say, like, my goodness, this has got to be one of the most fun and entertaining movies I've ever seen back then. Like, yeah, I do like the part when you know, hold on. Yeah, I do like the part when Manny was like, "Oh, the baby's coming," when he was holding the water with leaves on it, and then he panicked and stopped, and he was like, and then he found out, oh, it was a false alarm. Boom. Like, jeez, like Manny, she wasn't really. I mean, her water didn't really broke. Like, she still had the baby in her stomach. Like, chill. And then like Sid came and he touched the woman's belly, and then she was like, "I'm not pregnant," and boom, just like hit Sid right in the back. And then next, you do have the whole ice sculpture scene, and then like Elliot was like, wow, it's amazing." Like, jeez, yeah, which he made it all for Ellie. I mean, yeah, for her and their newborn baby, which felt like a crystal land. So yeah, and then like Sid pretty much found 3 eggs inside to like uh take care of them. And then when they had, she found that there were 3 baby dinosaurs, and then they were all calling him Mama. But they thought that Sid was their mother. Wow. And then let me tell you, yeah, he decided to take care of them, do the dance like do 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 do. I'm a walking dinosaur. and then and let me tell you, once they got to the ice crystal playground, yeah, it was getting all chaotic, and then the kids started playing, and then one dinosaur was eating a kid, the other one was not sharing, and it got chaotic, and then Sid pretty much like, yeah, Sid, I mean, no, Manny pretty much got all mad due to Sid's destruction, and then the whole playground, and yeah, the design that they made with the whole family tree was broke, and then Manny told Sid to get rid of them, take them where they belong, and then Sid didn't want to because he pretty much wants to be responsible for them. And then you want to know the funny scene that Sid did? He like touched one of the animals' privates,
Oh yeah,
and
when he grabs
yeah,
the ox's penis,
yeah,
and he's like, "I
yeah.
thought you were a
Yeah,
You
female."
vicious
yeah, when he
animal.
found out it was a male, and he was like, I thought you were a female. My God, dude. And then, I mean, seriously, that is just one of the most perverted things you could ever do to an animal,
Yeah,
Sid.
but but that's the joke. Like he didn't know, so that's the whole,
Yeah,
and you don't see anything, so it's fine.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, and then the giant T-Rex came out and then started attacking the place, which we didn't find out that he was about to like cause chaos. He wanted to find his like, I mean, she wanted to find his three kids, and then said it was like, "Hi, hi, these are my kids. If you want them, you gotta go through me to get them." And then like Sid, I mean, the dinosaur pretty much got Sid and the dinosaur's kids and took them back to the dinosaur world. And then Manny and the others like were pretty much going into that cave, and then pretty much like, yeah, pretty much gonna go into that hole on where the dinosaurs came from just to save Sid, and then Diego tags along, finding out that Sid was in trouble, and then yeah, it was all going great. And once you get to the dinosaur world, holy Jesus, like, geez Louise, the whole world with dinosaurs was just fantastic. Like, seriously, the whole details with the trees, the environment, and the dinosaurs designs themselves look wonderful. And I'll definitely like give all those a 10 out of 10. Like, seriously, it's like this is how you create the whole dinosaur environment and the dinosaurs themselves in animation. Like, no other animated movie can do this. And I will say this whole dinosaur environment and this movie itself does put Jurassic World Dominion and Rebirth to shame. That's how I can sum it that. So yeah. Okay, so getting back on topic with Ice Age. Yeah, so they went into the dinosaur world and they're all impressed until there was one of the dinosaurs that were gonna chase them, and then Diego was like roaring, and then the other dinosaur roared back, which Diego got terrified. And then yeah, they continue, and then they find this weasel named Buck Wild, which, yeah, Buck Wild, and this is just one of my favorite characters in the third movie. He was strong,
Long thought, bah.
yeah, yeah, and his performance from Simon Pegg was just great. Like he
Can I
did.
say my favorite Buck scene is when he's like, the crime scene, leaving broccoli, a
Oh,
vegetable.
oh
Buck, when
yeah,
did you lose your mind? Oh, about 3 months ago. I woke
oh
up
yeah.
one morning married to a pineapple, an ugly
Uh,
pineapple. Oh,
uh,
I
uh,
loved it.
and then yeah, and then my favorite scene was where he found out how hold on, where he was gonna find out how to like save Sid on how Sid's doing, and then Sid choose the leaf, blah blah blah, this, and then he gets eaten by a dinosaur, and then yeah, that's how the whole leaf thing got chewed, or broccoli. And how do I say this? Yeah, and then yeah, Buck was telling the backstory to the other characters about him being eaten by Rudy, and then how his eye broke. I mean, his eye got clawed out, and then he was pretty much inside of the dinosaur's body, and then he punched through Rudy, and then broke his teeth, and then he now has his teeth as a sword. Yeah, and then you have this all, um, and then you have this whole environment stuff where they're just continuing their journey, and then you cut to the climax where Ellie's water broke, and then Diego had to be there to like take out the baby while Manny was fighting off the raptors, which was an incredible scene, by the way. And and once Ellie got the baby, he pretty much like, I mean, she pretty much got impressed. And then you see those cutie eyes, and then he's like, "Oh wow, welcome to our world" and stuff. And jeez, yeah. And let me tell you, yeah, the baby was adorable and stuff, and was pretty much going to be this new generation of mammoths that will pretty much be a survivor and have a good life. Okay, how do I say this? Okay, oh yeah, yes, Sid got to the baby, and he's like, "Oh, it's a boy." He's like, "That's a tail, Sid. It's a girl." And then he called himself Uncle Sid and stuff. Which, yep, Sid can be the funny uncle at times. So I will give it that. And then yeah, they got the baby. They were about to like return back, and then let me tell you, they were gonna bring Buck Wild along. I mean, and once they were walking, I mean, yeah, he pretty much. I mean, no, they found out that they were in trouble. That there was another dinosaur coming, and then you found out it was Rudy, the main villain, who I wanted to be if they gave him screen time, and then they were about to attack them, and then yeah, and before they were about to like all die, the T Rex came and saved them, and then he pretty much like said goodbye to Sid and all yada yada yada, and then all those kid dinosaurs pretty much how do I say this? Yeah, say goodbye to him, and then Manny was like, "Oh, you were a good parent, Sid." And then let me see, Buck Wild was almost about to like go with the family all the way back to the surface, but then he found out Rudy was alive, and then decided to like stay in the dinosaur world. So yeah, and then how do I say this? Yeah. Okay, they went back, and then Diego told the others like, "Oh, he belongs where he's supposed to be." And then like Ellie was like, yes, sweetie, welcome to the Ice Age." Which, yes, this is definitely
To
like,
me, Jesse, this is where it should have ended. I
yeah,
feel like that is the ending. It's a
yeah,
simple ending, but
I
Manny's got his
was.
family back. That's an arc complete. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you don't need to go any further than that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that they should have ended off after here when they all got to the whole snow environments and stuff. They should just cut it right there, and then yeah, it felt like a celebration and stuff in the end credits, and then yeah, I mean Blue Sky should have said that this is the ending, but then we got the later movies which pretty much went downhill, which we'll get to that later. But yeah, to me,
So sorry, I forgot to mention. I mean, Scrat gets a girlfriend in this
oh
film.
yes,
Scratheads, yes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
she's a fun character.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Scrate.
Oh
I
yeah.
forgot to mention the scrap parts. Hold on, I'm gonna get to that before we get to the final verdict. Yeah, and I mean, Scrap was doing his shenanigans with his acorn as always, and then he pretty much like abandoned that when she found a girl Scrap for the first time and decided to fall in love with her, and then these two get into a brawl on who should get the acorn, and this and that, and then they were doing the tango that goes do 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 do. Do. And then, yeah, I mean, these two were having a romantic moment. They left the acorn into tears, and then and then both Scrat and the girl start kissing and stuff. And then once we get to, the scene before the end credits, Scrat and the girl were in the dinosaur world, and they were living in a house, and then the girlfriend was giving Scrat a hard time, like, "Oh, push this furniture right there, and then you gotta push it over there. Come on, this is how family works." But then he just decides to find the acorn again, and then went up to the circuit surface, and then both of them were holding onto the acorn, him and the girl Scrat, and guess what? He was like wink with his eye, and then the girl Scrat just fell to the dinosaur world, and then he and then Scrat pretty much like went up to the surface with his acorn again, and then he was like, "Oh," and then the ice came, and then the A card just went into the dinosaur world, and then Scratch screams, and then we just cut to credits. Oh my god. Okay, so getting to the final verdict, yeah, this was just a wonderful sequel, a step up to the second movie. Like, yeah, the story was good, the characters were the same as always, fun and charming, and let me tell you, yeah, the animation was just top notch. It did had this more clear detail on the fur, especially the design on the dinosaurs was just amazing. Like, just wow. I was just impressed on how the animators made those dinosaurs, make them all all prehistoric looking creatures. So yeah. And my only problem is that the comedy did go over the top, and some of them, I mean, some of them work, and then others got on my nerves. Ooh, yeah, yeah. And then and then second and last but not least, I mean, Rudy needed to get more screen time, which, ooh, they only show him in the flashback and in the climax. That's it. And oh my god, like I said, this is definitely reminding me of of Godzilla not getting more screen time, and they did the same to Rudy, but this was before Godzilla. But coming back to Ice Age, so yeah, those were just my two flaws, but the rest, I say they were very enjoyable. I say this is definitely one of the best, you know, I mean, yeah, definitely one of the best their installments I ever seen. And I don't even know what the critics are on. I mean, seriously, it's an Ice Age film. You're supposed to have fun. So yeah, I will give this an 8 out of 10. So definitely a
Great.
wonderful film to watch.
Okay, thanks, Jesse. Right, I've got to speed this up because we've been on nearly 2 hours. We're still on the third movie. So. Okay, Ice Age 3. Now, I have a bit of a soft spot for this one. When I first saw this, I really, really loved it. I nearly loved it as much as the first. And again, over time, getting older, I realized that it's, there are some issues with it, but it is fun. I think to me, it's one of the most fun movies in the franchise. I think it's about on par with the second one. I think maybe the second one gets the slight edge because it's just a little bit
I
more
agree.
sentimental. I used to prefer the third, but I think the second is a tad better. But I do think a lot of them both of them sort of have similar features and similar kind of issues in terms of like a lack of emotional impact. Although 3 does have its tender moments, but with the birth of Peaches and the ending kind of completing Manny's story arc kind of nicely with him getting a family again. I like that. But again, it focuses more on the humor, which is fine, but it gets a little silly, I think, in places and a bit indulgent. And I think that's probably why you can't connect with it as much as the first one. But like the second one, I do enjoy it, and I think it's fun, and I think the story is basic. It deals a lot with parenthood. I think that's the main sort of theme here, and Sid becoming a mother to the 3 dinos is an interesting storyline. It's a little silly, but I do quite like it, and some of the humor does make me laugh with this one. And this was the first movie of the series to be released in 3D as well, and there's clearly an attempt to big up the 3D gimmick effects, but it still works. And to me, what makes this movie stand out is Buck. Simon Pegg's character, Buck, the weasel, who has been living in underground all this time, and he's gone completely mad. I love that. He's just so comfortable with who he is that he's even strangling his own foot. He's kind of talking to himself. He talks to rocks, and he's just brilliant. And he says he's married to a pineapple as well. I love that. And then when he says he'll help them and he gives them rules, and he says, "He who has gas travels at the back of the pack." Oh, and then Crash already goes at the back. It's very clear that Crash and Eddie idolize Buck, and they obviously get involved in the flying sequence at the end. And to me, there just wasn't a lot of character development in this movie. Manny and Ellie's relationship is pretty stagnant. It's pretty much like just there. Like, obviously, they're becoming parents, but that's kind of it, really. And there's all this stuff about Diego wanting to leave the group. That doesn't seem to go anywhere. It doesn't really seem to sort of go. Yeah, it doesn't seem to develop very much. Other than that, he then changes his mind at the end. So Diego doesn't really have much to do in this film. He's sort of a spare part, and I feel that with again with Sid, his his journey to become a parent. I mean, maybe it would have been better if like Manny and Sid had swapped places. Like maybe Manny was forced into taking care of the dinos, but then you already had the baby story in the first one. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like a lot of it felt kind of fillery. There's a lot of filler and sort of unnecessary stuff that doesn't adhere together as much as the first two. I think the third one but it is fun. It's a great fun adventure. When you go underground into the dino world, it's a really good adventure, and I have a great time watching this movie. And as for Scrap, well, I find it kind of interesting. To me, this was the last good stuff with Scrat. With him and Scratay, the girlfriend. I like their relationship. It's quite funny, and when they do that tango dance for the acorn is quite nice. I think that's quite funny. Oh, I mean, I do kind of laugh a little bit at the Scratlantis thing, but we'll get to that. But to me, this generally was the last time I thought Scrap was very funny. I thought after this is when it got very stale, and I still think this should have been the ending of the story because, again, as I said, the whole theme about Manny rebuilding his family, I think it has that here is where it ends. He finally has his wife, has his daughter. They can just live happily ever after. And I think, again, simple, but it was, I think, a fitting way to sort of to leave it here. But I do agree that maybe Rudy could have used a bit more presence. Well, not presence, but it could have had a little bit more character. But I still thought it was kind of a cool idea that Buck had his tooth as a sword. I like that, and I like that Buck and Rudy were rivals, and the backstory about how he fought him for his tooth. That was really good. And again, Buck is a character who is idolized by. I think even Diego kind of takes a bit of a shine to him, to be honest. But the animation is very good. I'd say the colors and the textures. This is 2009, so they've obviously come a long way in like 7 years, and I think that just the leap in quality of the technical stuff is very, very good. And this is the most colorful Ice Age movie. Well, apart from the fifth movie, but we'll talk about that. But in terms of the first three, this is the most colorful because we're going into a different world. So I do like that they're expanding the world of Ice Age. And for me, the humor is better in this one than in 2. I laughed more with this one, mainly because of Buck. Like certainly lines when they're like, "Were you killed?" "Sadly, yes, but I lived." He just has some of the best lines. He's brilliant. And when he pops out of the foot and he goes, "Pop goes the weasel." I did very much enjoy that. And the climax is entertaining and thrilling, where they have to fight Rudy and they save Buck. Although Buck decides to stay down in the world underground and fight Rudy forever, which is a shame because I would have kind of liked Buck to go back with them and become part of the gang. But obviously, we will see him again in number 5, briefly in 4.
Because in 4th, I mean, while Scrat was falling to his doom, I mean, Buck only got a couple of lines where he's like, "Ha ha ha," this on a dinosaur, and then you never see him again until the 5th one. Jeez.
Yes. To me, there's just not as much character development, character dynamics. It almost feels a little bit like this is heading towards kind of TV movie territory. And I don't mean that as a bad thing in a way, but you just get the sense that there wasn't as much care put into this one. It was more focused on making it kind of a 3D experience rather than the script. I just think the script is very bare bone. But there is a funny scene where Diego is defending Ellie from the raptors, and then he's trying to push when she's like, "Come on, push," and he's got the log up against the raptors, and he's like, "You have no idea what I'm going through." That was kind of a nice, funny twist on the giving birth scenario. That was kind of funny. Again, it's got its moments for sure, but I think when you compare it to the first two, there just isn't as much heart, and again, going more for the silly humor. I think this is kind of where the series starts to veer in that different direction. It will get worse with 4 and 5, but for number 3, I thought it was like a decent ending to the trilogy. And the music by John Powell is once again very, very lovely, and the score works really well. But yeah, for me, this is once again a sort of a mixed bag of a film. I would score Ice Age 3 a 7 out of 10. I think it's good enough. It will keep you entertained, but nowhere near as good as the first one. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sorry?
Oh no, I said yeah, definitely I do agree with you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So now we move on to I think actually Harry's going to have quite a controversial opinion on this one, but most people have said that this is where it goes wrong. This is where Ice Age starts to go wrong with number 4. I personally agree with that, but Harry, would you like to try and defend yourself for a moment and say why you actually kind of like this movie, Ice Age 4, Continental Drift?
Okay, my defense review of Continental Drift. Oh boy, I'm going to be in the minority here because I actually like Ice Age 4.
No.
Yes,
How
I
dare you have
know.
an opinion?
Oh, Harry, please, come on. This is the movie that ruined the franchise. Like,
I know. I'm sorry. I don't think it's the film that ruined the franchise. To me, while I think Dawn of the Dinosaurs was a little overrated, I think this is the most underrated Ice Age movie. And I think, to me, this should have been the last Ice Age movie. It's really the last good one, in my opinion, and the last one that I really enjoyed. I mean, even my mum and my sister, when we came out of the cinema 14 years ago, we were like, wow, that was actually great and really funny. So yeah, I still don't get the hate for this film, and it released 10 years after the first Ice Age. So this was an actual worthy 10th anniversary celebration of the first film.
But Harry, you gotta understand. I mean, you want to know why it's been hated? It's because it doesn't have that quality as the previous movies, and Fox were pretty much forcing Blue Sky to like make more just so they can make it into a cash grab to get a quick buck and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Fox wanted, of course, to keep Ice Age going for money, but as Dawn of the Dinosaurs did make 800 million and is the highest grossing ones, and Continental Drift also made over 800 million. But I think that this is the most visually stunning of the franchise. This film has the best animation of the series. I mean, look at how when you compare the animation of this film to the first film, you can see how far it's come. And I think that this film actually does the end of the world plot well with the continents collapsing. To me, it did it even better than Ice Age 2. The fact that Scrat causes
the end of the world as we know it.
The fact that Scrat causes the continents to split apart. I mean, that is genius. And also, Buck's brief cameo with Rudy. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Well, and Manny, I think this film was really shows. Well, Manny gets to be. We get to see him be a real parent for the first time, even though he's clearly an overprotective parent to his teenage daughter Peaches. How he doesn't want to go out with boys because of what happened to his family in the first film. So his determination to get back to his wife and daughter here. It shows how courageous and loyal a character he really is, and also Sid's granny comes into the picture, and she is the best character in the film. Wanda Sykes as Sid's granny. She got the most laughs from me. I'll bury you all and dance on your grave.
I'll say her performance here is better than what she's been through in that Saving Bikini Bottom movie, which I couldn't even stand her in that film.
Oh yeah. Oh, way funnier than the Sandy Cheeks movie. Well, and also her whaler Precious. Oh, he was a badass. He was the original Pajak from Avatar, and
Precious, you stop
yeah.
at the precious.
Oh yeah, nice Gollum impression. And also Diego actually gets more of a story here than he did in 3 when he gets a girlfriend this time, not just Manny anymore, in the form of Shira, voiced by Jennifer Lopez.
Well, I mean, I would happily date Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, same. Oh,
Jeez.
no question.
She is so fine.
Oh God, I just can't believe it. I mean, I was fine when Manny got a girlfriend in the second, but why would you give more characters more girlfriend? Like, come on. First,
Yeah,
Diego.
they just started pairing them up. Like they're all couples now. It's
God,
I guess you could argue there are a lot of characters to keep up with, but I think Sheer in this film, she's so much better than she is in Collision Course here, as she gets a story similar to Diego in the first film, where she's initially part of Captain Guts' pirate crew, but then she has a change of heart the more she gets to know Diego and Manny and Sid. And I have to say, Captain Gut, my favorite Ice Age villain, voiced
Really?
horrifically by Peter Dinklage. Yes,
well,
and,
he's certainly more developed than the others. I'll give him that.
oh yeah, way more, and he even gets a villain song, "Master of the Seas," which is so damn catchy, and he's
I
actually.
respectfully disagree. That's
Oh,
you're entitled to your opinion.
And I love his personal rivalry with Manny. The fact that he threatens to destroy everything that Manny loves, and his fight with Manny at the end are kick ass. And even his death was very shocking when he gets devoured by the siren. I mean, this film does feel like a great adventure. So there's never a dull moment when they arrive on the Hyraca island and they help the crew take Guts' ship, and when they have to evade the sirens, and even Scrat's and the Scratlantis scene, like you mentioned earlier, yeah, that's a comedy gold, and the last actually funny Scrat scene in the entire series. Oh, and yeah, and as for Peaches and Ellie, yes, they're stuck on land while our main trio are out at sea. But yeah, Peach's storyline, it's a very cliched teenage girl storyline, how she's falls for Ethan because he's the hot mammoth. But of course, by the end, she realizes Lewis the hedgehog is her real friend. But I still think Peaches, she's a cute character, and she's very loyal and brave, just like her parents. And also, and I think the "We Are Family" song in the end credits, that's wonderful. That would actually be a worthy song to wrap up the franchise, actually.
Yeah.
And even
sorry. Go, continue.
yeah, and even the "Chasing the Sun" song by The Wanted in the credits. Oh, that is a banger. And
Yeah.
so yeah. I mean, overall, yes. This film, it certainly doesn't have. It doesn't quite have the heart or the effort of the first film, but for me, this is my personal favorite of the Ice Age sequels, and the last one I really enjoyed, because boy, would the franchise go downhill big time after this film. The point where Fox would go too far. So yeah, I'm gonna close off by giving Ice Age 4 Continental Drift 8 ace out of 10, 4 stars out of 5.
You bastard!
Oh my
You
God,
bloody
Harry.
Well-
You're pretty much doing the switcheroo where you give this one movie that we mentioned hours ago, kind of like a underwhelming mediocre movie, and then you think this is a positive, like, oh boy, Larry, you are poisoning our minds into justice. No, but I'm just kidding, pal. I mean, if you like it, it's totally fine. I mean, we're all
Yeah.
entitled to our opinions.
Yeah. So with that being said, also one last thing, Harry, before I move on to Jesse.
Oh, yeah.
what are your thoughts on Scratlantis and Patrick Stewart
Oh, oh,
voicing
oh
Scrat?
yeah. I thought Scratlantis, that was the last actually funny Scrat scene in the entire franchise.
I do agree with you about that.
Yeah, with Patrick Stewart. Yeah, that was an awesome cameo. I liked it a lot.
Great. Okay, now on the other side of the coin, sorry, Harry, Jesse. In brief, could you tell us your thoughts on Ice Age 4?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. Okay, when I saw this film, it did not age well, and I'm just gonna say this in my honest opinion. This is honestly one of the worst Ice Age movies I have ever seen, and I'm about to explain my thoughts right now. So, like the story was pretty much like all over the place. You got this whole side this whole side story with Manny trying to protect his daughter because he didn't want her to be in danger by going out with boys and then hanging out with those other mammoths who are voiced by celebrities who I can't stand, which they could have got better people to voice them. Instead they got freaking Nicki Minaj and Drake. Like why would they even cast them? And not just only that, like this movie even has more celebrities that are being voiced by real life people like Wanda Sykes, Jennifer Lopez, and many others. Just why? I mean, in the other films, you didn't have that, but in here, it literally broke me. They sound too human. They don't sound like Ice Age characters. Like, why? Oh God. And then the next scene. Oh my God. Yeah, you got a Manny saying that. uh, that's why I'm protecting you. That's what dads do. And and then Ellie was like, maybe I don't want a dad after. I mean, maybe I don't want you to be my dad after all. Like, come on, that is
Wait, Ellie.
just
Wait,
cold.
sorry. Don't you
You
mean
mean
Oh, sorry,
Peaches?
Peaches?
sorry, 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 sorry. Peaches. Sorry.
Peaches, Peaches, Peaches,
Not
Peaches,
Ellie.
Peaches.
Oh my God. Yeah, I just kind of like mix up with the names. So yeah. Okay, when I'm gonna repeat this. When Manny tells Peaches, because I'm supposed to protect you. That's what dads do. And then Peaches was like, maybe I don't want you to be my dad. Like, why would you even say that? Okay, if he wants to like protect you. Nice comment you put right there. So, anyways, when Peaches said that to Manny, it was just heartbroken. It was just cold. Like,
I wish you
seriously,
weren't my father.
like I know you're a teenager, Peaches, but seriously, you should never say that to your own dad, saying that you don't need him after all. Like, come on, like,
Yeah, I have to say, Jesse, I agree with you. I think it's a trope that's so overdone, like the father-daughter being overprotective. You know, okay, if you're gonna do it, find new ways to do it other than saying, "I wish you weren't my father." You know, there are ways to do it, but no, this is just like, oh, she wants to date someone and he doesn't approve. We've seen this
God,
before so many times.
definitely. Yeah, and I'm guessing all dads pretty much want to be protective towards their daughters is because I think it probably they don't see a boys as trustworthy because they're probably going to put them in danger, or probably because they lost a one child and could protect them, and then they're not going to let the other one down. So that's how I see it. Okay, so continuing with the Ice Age, yeah. And then, after this, I mean, our main trio gets into trouble, and then the ice breaks, and then, they're just going into the sand, and they have to find a way to get out of here. Like,
And then they
come
meet
on.
pirates.
Oh, yeah. And then they meet the pirate team. I mean, those pirate villains, and then which they felt too over the top. Like, come on, they could have
Yeah.
been better villains.
Why's the rum always gone?
Especially that, especially that a monkey villain who's,
Captain Gut.
yeah. Wait,
Let me
Captain
be the
who?
first to extend a hand. That's your
Yeah.
foot.
God, yeah, which that villain was pretty much so over the top. I just wanted him out of the film, and he honestly reminds me of Scar King from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, where he acts all silly and wants to defeat the monster. Yeah, that's how I see it in him when he wants to defeat our main trio. Oh, and last but not least, they brought in Sid's grandma on the trip. Like, what was she even doing there in the first place? Like, come on.
She kept just saying, "Precious,
Precious,
precious."
yeah, yeah, the
God,
granny's lover who
she wouldn't shut up.
who pretty much like saved their butts in the climax, which yeah, kind of appreciate that. And then oh, we got this other storyline with Peaches going on her adventure with the teenage friends and the boy. Like whoop de doo, you're you're just going around, going into caves, doing shenanigans, and then
Yeah, and then the best friend character, Lewis, whatever his name was, the one who fancies her the
yeah,
whole time. Like,
yeah.
where was he in the 5th movie? He just disappeared from the
Yeah, and
whole
then
story.
yeah, which and then he hooked up. I mean, and then she hooked up with this guy named Julian who was just annoying. But I'll get to him in the when we talk about the fifth one. So yeah, so let's just get back to this. Yeah, so those friends were pretty much backstabbers, and then didn't feel like friends at all, and just like
Yeah.
put her to the side, and then she find out that she wants her dad back, and then we
Yeah.
have to wait until the climax just to get back with them.
Lois the hero.
Oh my god! Just couldn't even stand that acting from Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Like, why? She's a singer.
Can I just ask,
But
like, why did they decide to jump straight to her being a teenager? Why couldn't we have had more of the film with her as a
Oh,
kid?
oh,
I know
yeah,
like, that would have been nice to see them raise her
yeah,
as a young girl. You know.
yeah, exactly. And if they dived in throughout her character as a child, it would have made more sense, and she would have been like that annoying. But instead, they cut to her teenage years, having her voiced by Kiki Palmer and saying all those teenage stuff like, "Oh, I want to be popular. I want to play for like,
I
stop it,
want to be
stop it."
popular.
Oh, and I wanted to get kissy kissies with makeup and stuff. Like, stop it, stop it, stop it! Just, it's just sufferable. We've seen that in teenage dramas. Like, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Just
I
be,
mean, it's not that bad. It's weak. It's just very boring.
yeah, so weak that I wanted that cut out of the film for once and let her be a normal person for once, and especially to Manny, of course. So yeah, okay, to the climax. This just got to be the most oh
I
disappointing
mean, this,
climax I ever.
in theory, this should be the best climax of Ice Age. Pirates, you know, you think that like they'd have a big fight or
And
whatever,
if you,
but it's boring.
Yeah, I
Really
thought the
boring.
climax was pretty awesome, actually.
oh Barry, if you say anything about the awesome, thinking that it's the awesomest climax, you are going down to the dungeons of the Mario world. No, just kidding, just kidding. Okay, so
Oh
the
dear.
climax, it just pretty much bored me. Like everything was just all silly and stuff. It felt too kiddie friendly, and then
Yeah.
you
It's just
and
Manny
then
versus Gut, isn't it?
Captain Gut, come on, that monkey has like a huge body like a person and an ape, while Manny is just just a giant mammoth with 2 feet with no arms just to defeat a villain. I mean, he did that with the other antagonist in the previous ones, but in here, what does he do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He just acts like a coward and trying to do his best. And then Granny was like, Precious! And then Precious comes and you see he's a giant villain, then pretty much takes down the whole villain pirate crew, whatever signs. And then they all get vanished away. And then the Jennifer Lopez tiger pretty much survives and then hooks
Oh,
up with
Shira, yeah.
Diego. Yeah. And yeah, Shira. So Shira hooks up with Diego. They have a bond, fall in love, and then join the herd. And then once you get to the ending, they went to another world, which a new island where they can live. Like, come on, you could have just picked a better place to live. Why would you pick this pointless island that looks like Hawaii, where you want to like take a vacation,
Yeah.
just to
I
enjoy
am
life?
Moana.
Oh yeah, it's definitely kind of like Moana, but why they had to put it in an Ice Age film?
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, and the scenes with Scrats. I mean, okay, the only redeeming quality I like are the Scrat scenes. They're still hilarious.
And the animation.
And the animation, of course, it definitely is
Can I,
still top notch and made it more realistic.
I will
Uh,
say this: there's one joke that I really did laugh at. One line that was really funny, and that was, "I think Diego's about to say the L word, leprosy."
Okay,
That was genius.
I will say that it's definitely one of the most.
And
funniest.
I thought Scratlantis was kind of funny, but that's as far
Oh.
as you can take that joke.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, the scratch scenes were pretty much funny. I mean, and the way he was like doing a combination of one world to another, which, jeez,
Scrat causing Continental Drift.
yeah. And then the scene with Scratlantis was just hilarious. And then Scratlantis got destroyed and stuff, and now Scrat's back to square one. He's going to a single world with one acorn. That's it. Oh, and the whole transition where they go from Scrap to the other Ice Age characters kind of feels like a transition to GTA 5 when you're switching to one character to another when you're in this atmosphere looking above ground. Like, come on. It's like they took something from GTA and then put it here. But overall, I'm gonna be honest. This has got to be one of the most worst and disappointing Ice Age movies I have ever seen.
Yeah, it's the
But-
beginning of the end. But not in a good
Yeah,
way.
and 20th Century Fox and Blue Sky should have known better by canceling the franchise and just make original movies for once. Like, come on, no more Ice Age.
Yeah.
Just focus on the quality. Focus on. giving
If you're
people-
going to make it, then make it better than this. Like,
yeah,
start a
or
new story arc. Make it about make Peaches the main character, and
yeah,
forget about
or give Scrat his own TV show, and we can enjoy his laughs whenever we want. Or give.
yeah.
So yeah. Overall, after watching this, I do not want to see another Ice Age movie ever again.
And then they
We-
make two more,
Oh God, which
soon
I'm
to be three.
Which one is a movie that I pretty much gave up permanently on the franchise, and the other one I'm dreading to see it, which it's gonna poison my mind and everything's gonna go
Yeah.
downhill. But look, Ice Age 4, bad movie, but it could have been better. The only scenes I like were the scratch scenes and what else? Oh yeah, the CGI and special effects were definitely the best ones. So yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
give this like a 4 out of 10. It was
Oof.
just done dirty. Boom.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I actually completely agree with you, Jesse. Sorry, Harry, but
Yeah.
oh,
Now
Oh,
for
let's,
that's
me,
okay.
this
now let's get to Ollie's opinions. So, what are your thoughts?
yeah, yeah, it's weird because I'm really on the fence with Ice Age 4 or Ice Age 5 as to which one is worse. I mean, obviously, the worst of the series is Buckwild, but these two movies single-handedly killed the franchise stone dead. I mean, maybe this one not so much, but the next one definitely. I think I have more of a soft spot for 5 because Buck is in it. But I think judging them as movies, this is probably slightly better just because it's not as ridiculous as the next one. But at the same time, Ice Age 4, to me, this movie is just so bad. I'm sorry. I really don't like this film. I think, to me, it was the most dull and boring movie that I sat through. I remember the first time I saw this movie, I didn't get to see it on the big screen. I saw it on an aeroplane when I was on a school trip. I was traveling to America, and I remember actually nearly falling asleep watching it. And I don't often fall asleep on planes, so that's quite something. To me, this movie is kind of like two movies in one. It's a bit of a mess. You've got this whole storyline of Scrat causing Continental Drift, Manny being separated from his family, the whole stupid overprotective father and daughter thing. Then you've got pirates. Like, what? Like, okay, how did we go from dinosaurs to pirates in one movie? That's strange, but whatever. I mean, I'm okay with the pirate thing if it was going to be a seafaring adventure. Like, why not have them go on a treasure hunt or something simple? You know, I think that's for me why Ice Age 4 doesn't work. It feels too different to the first three. Is that the first three were very simple. They had a simple idea, simple story, simple structure, and it was, you know, you didn't have to kind of think too much to enjoy them. Number 4, there's so much going on. It's a bit stupid, and the amount of characters in this damn thing is ridiculous. There's like all the crew on Captain Gus' ship, and then you've got all these other new characters like the teenage mammoths and Peaches and Lewis. I think that's his name, the Josh Gad character Lewis, as well as the characters from the first 3 films. To me, the script is just bad for this film. It's just so generic. Like, it's just like any other kids movie. Like, the whole stuff with Peaches and her boyfriend, or well, the guy that she likes, and then the friend who likes Peaches, the love triangle stuff. Like, why the hell did we need that? That did not go anywhere. I would have rather Peaches been a young girl. If you're going to do the protective father-daughter thing, go down that route instead of the generic teenage thing of, oh, your dad disapproves of who you want to date and all that kind of thing. A bit like, The Lion King 2. You had Kiara starting off as a young girl and Simba was overprotective because, she's younger, and that makes more sense. Generic, yes, but at least it makes more sense. Because then Peaches could have, learned to grow. I think Peaches should have actually been on the pirate adventure instead of the whole stuff with Ethan, whatever his name is. Instead of that crap, have Peaches join the trio on the pirate adventure, and then that's how you build the father-daughter relationship. And I think that's what would have honestly saved this film. But no, we get this boring, dull, high school teen plot along with a pirate adventure. And the two things just don't really work together. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but that's how I saw it. I just thought, when I see this movie, I see a film with two halves, and I don't see two things that go together. But it's really strange. And it sidelines Ellie, Crash, and Eddie as well. Like, the movie doesn't give them anything to do, which is a shame because Ellie is Peaches' mother. So yeah, but anyway, like the main trio end up on this pirate ship with Captain Gut, who's voiced by Peter Dinklage. Actually, Peter Dinklage is probably the best performance in the movie. I think he's, I'm not a huge fan of the character. I don't care for him really. While he definitely has a lot more presence than the other villains, I still think Soto's the best villain of the series. I think he was just so cold and so calculated, and you got because he had personal ties with Diego, there was more impact with Soto. He had more of a stake in the story, whereas Gut is just this random pirate who just kind of walks in the adventure and, for some reason develops this rivalry with Manny. But Dinklage does what he can with the role, and I'm not a fan of the song. I think the song is cringe, personally. And the stupid seal character voiced by James Corden, who I think at one point is referred to as a giant bag of pudding, which I must admit, that does make me laugh. There's just too many characters. I can't remember who all these crew members are. I mean, and Shira is a pointless character. I don't think Diego is the type of character that needs to fall in love. I think you're making him all soft and squishy like that. I don't like that direction for him. I thought it was better when he was a lot more kind of tougher. I mean, if you're going to go down this route, then have a partner that matches him. I suppose she does match him in a way, but I just don't like the fact he falls in love. I just don't think it works for his character. I think they should have found another purpose for him. I think maybe Diego and Gut should have had the rivalry. But I don't know. I guess because so much of the film is about Manny and Peaches, they wanted to make that the more of the thing. And Sid's grandmother, again, she does not need to be in this movie. She's clearly there for comic relief. I think the character design for her is really weird. Like the long neck and just like the very thin neck. It just, I don't know. I mean, Wanda Sykes is just kind of voicing herself, The Precious thing, I kept thinking about Lord of the Rings every time that was mentioned. But, she has her moments. I mean, I personally think she's a little bit better in the fifth movie, but we could have lived without that character, I think. As for Sid, he really doesn't get that much to do. He doesn't have a huge story arc. He does have some funny lines, like I've said, but ultimately, this film is particularly empty, I think, despite how many characters there are. Nick Frost, not James Corden. Thank you, Miles. Thank you. Flynn. That's his name, Flynn. Thank you. But yeah, to me, Ice Age 4 is a film that has so much in it in terms of characters, the adventure, and the whole general presentation. But yet the substance is so not there. This, for me, is when they lost what made it good. And that was, simplicity rules in the sense that you didn't need things to get convoluted. You didn't need to you didn't need to throw so much in there. You could just have something very simple and contained, and it worked. They've done the opposite in number 4. They've put too much in here, and they've not known what to do with it. To me, it's a mess. it's a real mess of a film, and it's for me the first really disappointing movie in this franchise, and I did not emotionally connect with it. I think the climax is also pretty weak and boring. Scratlantis is kind of funny, I guess, and even the Scrat scenes aren't as interesting this time. It's just a sign of this franchise really tiring at this point. There's just not much else to say other than that. Well, yeah, the animation looks great, and I think they've done a great job. In the 10 years, you can see how the technology's improved. But yeah, and I hate the song in the credits. I hate it.
Aww.
We are ham and cheese, or whatever it is. We are
Ham
fam.
and cheese.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh
It's
my
just so cringe. It's so cringe. I don't know. I mean, Jess, you probably agree with me. The song in the credits, just complete cringe.
Yeah, like seriously, it could have been like more creative and stuff, but it's just licensed music that they just took from other properties and then sang their own version, and it definitely like gave me a headache. I wanted to stop, and when Granny was like ham and cheese, like seriously, that's a line that you would get in a retirement home if you're trying to like, oh, serve the old people ham and cheese while giving in the table.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
yeah.
Well, wasn't it awesome that they showed the voice actors for each character in the credits?
Yeah, I mean,
I
they
mean,
did the best. They did the
yeah.
best they could, but you
I
know,
I mean, I guess, but it doesn't make up for the movie. I mean, again, there's the score is still good by John Powell. I'll give it that. But to me, this movie is just it's weirdly contradictory in that it's overblown with characters and filler, yet it's so dull. Like it's just it throws everything on the screen and yet does nothing with it. And I think that's the biggest crime of this movie. It forgot what made the first three good. And even though 2 and 3 aren't perfect, at least there's not as much filler, and there's some moments of sentimentality. And I know they tried to have some heartfelt moments here, but it's not enough for me. It's just I still think Manny and Peaches being separated for most of the movie hurts it. Ultimately, well, it's not a terrible film. I mean, but it's not a god awful film. I do think it's bad, and I think that it's for me the beginning of the end of this franchise. I think the voice actors do a really good job, though. They do try their best, and a few funny jokes here and there. But I have to agree with Jesse. I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10.
definitely. Oh wait, and I forgot to mention there was one scene where Sid was doing silly things with those animals called the gerbils. It was like the this and that. You remember those animals called the hyrax? You know, those little creatures that come out and do silly things, and then Sid was trying to like entertain them. I mean, if you don't, yeah, they honestly remind me of those animals from Norm of the North. Like, my God,
I've not seen
were they
Norm of the North yet, but people have requested me to talk about it, so
yeah,
I will. I will at some point. But
definitely. Now let's get on to the worst Ice Age movie. So yeah.
Well, no, I disagree. You haven't seen Buckwild, have you?
No, not Buck Wild. I was talking about Collusion Course. Let's get to Collusion Course now.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Let me host. So, yeah, I don't know if you've seen Buckwild yet, Jesse, but we'll get to that. So,
Yeah.
Harry, oh gosh, let's take a trip up into space, shall we? Ice Age 5 Collision Course.
Ice Age Collision Course. Well, this was the point when Ice Age truly went extinct. Oh my God. But fuck this movie. Oh,
You know what it's like, Harry? It's like the moment when in Star Wars, when they blow up Alderaan. That's what Ice Age 5 is like, when they blow the planet up.
Literally, I know, right? It felt like that. Like, it's literally, and Blue Sky didn't even want to make Collision Course. They were done with this franchise, but Fox forced them to make it just because Continental Drift made bank, and you can tell nobody behind this film wanted to make it. There's no passion behind it. Run out of all inspiration, all ideas, and to the point
that's
where
the thing. They knew it, and they even say in the beginning that they know it's dumb. Like the voiceover says, dumber. So they're acknowledging how stupid it is. Then why would you do it?
Exactly. Why would they waste their time and money? Like they're just at this point. With this film, they are scraping the bottom of the barrel, and even Scrat going into space and making the planets and
Oh
the
my
universe.
God.
I'm sorry, I tolerated him splitting the continents in Continental Drift. At least that wasn't nearly as dumb as this. This is going too far. And
Yeah,
this is
wasn't
also
smart either.
no, this is of the first 5. This is the least funny, hands down. Like it
Yeah.
barely got a chuckle out of me. In fact, there's even one joke where Eddie or Crash is about to lick a piece of shit on the ground, and Buck is like, "That, however, is a turd." Well, Buck just summed up this movie in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad when they have to do on the nose humor like that.
Yeah, literally. And the entire storyline of Manny and Ellie trying to split Peaches from her betrothed Julian. Oh my God, we already do this in number 4? Like I thought Manny had learned. Clearly not. No, they're just recycling that storyline again. just far worse. And also even. Diego and Shira wanting to have kids, it leads to nothing. They do nothing with it. In fact, Diego and Shira do jack shit in this film. Like they serve no purpose. In
Yeah.
fact, there are way too many characters in this film. Remember in the first film where there were just like 3 characters? Now there are like 10 characters in this one.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
there's
Even
God.
Jesse J's in it. Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh yeah,
and this-
Jessie J as Brooke. Yes, Sid gets a girlfriend now of the 3, and I mean,
What a twist!
yeah, she literally, yeah, she's. I mean, she is. She's a cute character and all, and Jessie J, she does a good job with her voice and all, but yeah, but she comes into the film too late. So she and Sid don't get enough scenes together, and and also, why did they bring Buck back? I don't think I don't think he's nearly as funny in this film or as entertaining as he was in
Yeah,
Dawn of the
yeah,
Dinosaurs.
which they took his character way too over the top. Made him
Yeah.
all silly and stuff. Like it felt like he came from the Looney Tunes instead of an actual Ice Age film. Like what the heck?
Yeah, Jesse, that's how I felt. And why do we need to see the dinosaur world again? And those also those dino burrs are villains. Oh, they suck. They're the worst Ice Age villains of the first 5 by far. Like
Yeah.
a complete step down from Captain Gut and his pirates. And also the plot about Buck finding this pillar which showed a prophecy about how to stop this meteor crashing into the earth. What the fuck is this shit? I'm sorry. And the entire all the scenes with the Shangri-La, it's like, what drugs were the animators on when they were animating that? Like,
It's just a film of bits. Like, there's no narrative structure.
God. And the part with the part with the dinosaurs, yeah, it looks like, as Animat said, they came from a Land Before Time movie, but they butchered them here by making them all silly and stuff. Like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do like no, come on, make them better characters. But
yes,
look what
I mean,
you did to
in the
them.
case of the animators, though, they came from a land before Mind.
Mind. Oh, yeah, exactly.
No one thought about this.
No, and nobody at all. I was like, I don't even know what this franchise is supposed to be about anymore. And what happened to Lewis from Continental Drift? Why is he not in this movie? They completely forgot about him and replaced him.
He was in their imagination.
Yeah, they probably like cut him out of the film and added this new boyfriend who was obnoxious and annoying.
Oh, Julian. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, me neither. He got on my nerves fast. Like, why? Yeah, totally. And Manny forgetting about him and Ellie's anniversary. Oh my God, how many times have we seen that joke in comedies? I mean, and this, even though the animation in this film is not bad, I will give it that. It's about on par with the animation. Well. It's at least decent to look at, but that's all I can say.
Definitely.
Like in comparison to Adventures of Buck Wild, at least it has a budget. But you can see why this film bombed financially, and you can tell that even audiences at this point are sick and tired of Ice Age, and were like, "I'm sorry, but we no more Ice Age." And it's really sad. What a shame to end the Blue Sky Ice Age films with this one. What a
Can I ask,
travesty!
like, why is it we go in the space of 3 movies from Peaches being a baby to a teenager to then
yeah,
getting
like
married? It's a bit
Yeah.
quick, isn't
yeah,
it?
like this
I
film
know.
is honestly a perfect example on why Fox and I mean not Fox, Blue. Oh, wait, let me repeat that. This film is a perfect example on why Blue Sky has officially ran out of ideas. They tried everything they could, but they couldn't. Like they just want to be done with Ice Age and move on to other things. But Fox pretty much forced them to make more. But in here, as you said, Harry, everything was just all over the place. It went crazy, and all the characters that we know from previous movies got ruined. Like seriously, like how could they even do this? It just breakens our hearts and our souls. Like why?
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, soul crushing. But yeah, exactly, Ollie. Like, I mean, and to think, well, Lion King 2 had told Kiara being a kid to them getting a boyfriend and then getting married all in one movie, and it did it so much better than Peach's storyline in 3 movies. But yeah, and 10 years later, this film has aged piss poorly. It really has. This
Aside
was,
the animation, but yeah.
aside from the animation, this was to me the beginning of the end of Ice Age, and it's also Blue Sky's worst movie easily. So yeah, this was the first Ice Age film that I really do get the hate for. I'm going to give Collision Course a 2 out of 10, 1 star out of 5.
Wow. Can't say I blame you, to be honest. So, with every expectation of a rant, Jesse, would you like to?
Okay.
Yeah, Ice
I'm
Age
not gonna.
5 Collision.
Jeez. Yeah, like this movie honestly broke my heart. This has got to be one of the worst and most disastrous Ice Age movies I have ever seen throughout the whole Blue Sky
It was
franchise.
so crap.
Yeah, and it's such a piece of crap that I was pretty much done with the franchise. And look, I'm not even gonna dive into more details since I know how the movie went. So I'm just gonna say this. Like the story of the story of Scrat going into the space was just
Story. Wait, there's a story for this movie?
no story
I
at
don't
all.
think
Like,
so.
come on. It's pretty
Rock
much
falls from sky. They have to get rocked back into sky. That's
definitely.
the story.
All Scrat did was just playing on the UFO, going into space, and then pretty much tearing apart the whole atmosphere and planets just so they can make our modern day times. As people would want to travel to airplanes to other places, blah blah blah, or take a car, and then Scrat was pretty much wearing a spacesuit, which pretty much felt like a modern day movie more than a classic prehistoric film. Like, why would they even do this? It's just butchering, insufferable. Like seriously. And now let's get to the Earth scenes. Oh yeah, so you got the characters doing shenanigans, yada yada this, yada yada that, and then they discover this meteor that's pretty much gonna like destroy the planet. And then everybody got crazy and go ah. And then once they got to the rock, they found Buck Wild here, and we were all happy to see him back. But now look what they turned him into, a unfunny, disastrous douchebag of a comic relief that doesn't deserve to be in this franchise ever again. Like seriously, they ruined my favorite character from the 3rd movie and butchered him here and turned him into this wisecracking Looney Tunes, Coyote versus Acme slash buttload of villain. Like, come on, just why? They could have done better with him, and now look what they did. Oh yeah, and let's get to the love story. Okay, so Lewis, I thought he was like okay trying to be
R.I.P.
the love
Lewis.
interest. Sorry, no, not Lewis. I thought we were gonna get Lewis back, but no, they cut him out and changed it with this annoying character named Julian. Like seriously, I was getting bored of him. He was annoying, obnoxious. Like my God,
He does have a funny walk, though. I'll give it that.
just why? What? Wait, hang on.
Bro, Dad.
Wait, hold on a second. Somebody's about to talk to me.
Harry, do you remember the scene where he does that weird walk and then Manny takes the piss out of him? He says, "Oh, I'm Julian.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm back.
Oh yeah,
I'm back.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Now,
unlikable of Manny. Yeah.
okay, now let's get to the next part. Yeah, so Julian, he was just the most annoying and insufferable character of all time. Trying to like, oh, get married with Ellie and stuff, and then Maddie found them to be quirky and stuff, and then blah 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 this, blah 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 that. Oh my God, they have a bond. They get to the end, they get married, and that's it. My God, this is so insufferable. Oh yeah, and the scene where Sid gets hit by this meteor was just freaking stupid. Like, is this supposed to be a gag or something? Like, no, it's just a stupid butt of a joke. And we all thought Sid was gonna die, but no, he's like, oh, and I thought I was this and that. Like, come on.
ugh.
Okay, I don't want to say it's too long, but I'm just gonna get to the ending. The ending was just terrible. They got
Dumb.
married, everybody's happy, and then that's it. Like, my God, this was just awful. Okay, I'm gonna get to the final verdict. The story in this movie was just pure garbage, and it's just copying elements from previous films they added here. And worst of all, they added pop songs, licensed, copyrighted pop songs that you would
I mean,
see
they've
in
done that
other
before. They
films.
did that with Ice Age 4 with We Are Family. So,
Oh well,
and,
in the end of the film, but in the
We're Walking with Dinosaurs, whatever it is.
but
Everybody walk the dinosaur.
well, I honestly didn't mind in those films. And yeah, fourth one did have a disappointing one, but and here they took it to a whole nother level by by putting in a bunch of oh, there goes like come on,
Oh,
why?
I never knew I could make it, or whatever.
And
Like
this
Jesse J sings a song at the end. Sid, you make me so
just
happy, or whatever it is.
yeah
Ugh.
so look okay, but yeah, like this movie is honestly an abomination to every single Ice Age film I saw, but this is just one of them. And they should have like ended after the third movie, and then they just kept making more. This was the final nail in the coffin for the Ice Age movies, and Collision Course pretty much proves that. And this movie can go right next to Superman 4, Batman and Robin, Catwoman, and Madame Web is just one of the worst movies I've ever seen in all time. The only
Whoa,
credit I
that
will
bad.
the only credit I'll give to this movie were the CGI and special effects. That's it. But
The
everything
animation.
else just went downhill. So, yeah, definitely a terrible film, and I'm never gonna like experience this film again until the sixth movie, which I'm dreading to see. So, yeah,
Yeah.
this is going to get a 2 out of 10. Worst film of all time, never to be seen again.
Wow. Wow.
Yep,
Woohoo.
there you go.
Thank you, Jesse. That was interesting.
Oh, no problem, pal. I did what I could and made it more
Ice
entertaining.
Age 5. I can't believe that. Ice Age 5 Continental Drift. It's still weird to think we have Toy Story 5 now, but anyway. I'd sooner take Toy Story 5 over this any day of the week. I mean, oh my God. You know it's bad, and you know they've jumped the shark when they're actually acknowledging how ridiculous it is that they're not only at the fifth one, but also that the whole concept is dumb. The fact that they have to be self-aware and say, you're expecting like something so much dumber, like something like that opening voiceover says, and you're just like, man, the fact that you're indulging this, is ridiculous. So it's knowingly silly, but that doesn't mean it's good. I mean, like I said, I had a bit of a soft spot for the fact Buck was back in it. I never loved this film, but I thought at first it was just all right because Buck was back and I enjoyed seeing Buck again. But I have to be honest, even though there's a part of me that wants to say I want to take this over 4, I think I have to be brutal here and say that 4 is the better film because it's not as ridiculous. It's not a compliment because I still don't like 4, but 5, Ice Age 5, to me, this is one of the most ridiculous, contrived, weird animated movies I've ever seen. It's just so strange. Like, it's just bizarre. Like, what they thought this was a good idea? Scrat going into space? Really? I mean, people said James Bond going into space was silly. No, I would happily watch Moonraker over this piece of crap. Ice Age 5 is just... This movie is terrible. It is just awful. I mean, aside the animation, which is very good, like it's crystal clear, it's the best you're going to see until the new film. But and the cast, do a really good job. But once again, similar kind of issues to 4, but worse. Like, too many characters, too much going on in this film. Like, there's way too much in the story. The idea should be very simple, yet they've got basically ideas that don't really blend together. Again, like 4 had, the teenage drama stuff, then it had the pirate adventure, which was like 2 separate films. This is like 3 separate films. You've got the space stuff with Scrat. You've got a romantic drama with Julian and Peaches and then Manny and Ellie trying to split them up. Then you've got this other storyline with these vultures, not vultures, pterodactyls, where like there's one son that's trying to earn the respect from his father, and they're chasing after bucks. There's like 3 different films going on. What the fuck? I mean, convoluted doesn't even begin to cover this. To me, Ice Age 5, and I'm going to say something that Mark Commode said in his review of this film, is it's the death of narrative cinema, in that this movie is a selection of bits and pieces. This feels like an Ice Age TV movie. This feels like a spin-off Saturday morning film that was just thrown together at the last minute. The script is terrible. It's terrible. There's like I said, 3 different threads of the plot going on. I mean, it would be fine if those threads came together and interwove, and they tried to do that. They tried to bring all these things together in the climax with the celestial rock that they have to send back up to get magnetized to the UFO or whatever. And they have to have everybody working together, including the pterodactyls. But it just doesn't work for me. It's just, the movie is not funny. It's cringy. It just adds pointless characters in for the sake of doing it, like the Shangri-Lama, who's annoying, and then Brooke, who, I mean, as much as I love Jessie J and what she did, vocally, the character doesn't need to be there. It's like they don't have to give everybody a love interest, and that seems to be the trend now in Ice Age. It's just that everyone needs a love interest. I mean, heck, I'd rather see a film about Buck and his romance with the pineapple than this piece of shit. I would happily see that. But this movie is just so dumb. And again, it's the fact that they say that from the outset. They're like, we know this is dumb, just have fun with it. Well, I can't. There is a point where you go, there's only so far you can take this. And it's only so ridiculous that you can go. And they've gone beyond the point of it being funny to the point where it's cringe. And the fact that Buck is back, I mean, that's nice. I like the fact that Buck has returned. He's not as funny as he is in 3, but I still enjoyed his presence in this film. I mean, at least it was something. And the film's a drag. It's a drag to sit through. And the whole like Julian character as well. Like, where did he come from? Like, he was never in the 4th movie. Like, if they'd have set him up, like instead of the Lewis character in the 4th one, have Julian in the 4th movie be the friend who likes Peaches, and then it makes more sense for their romance to develop in 5. But in 5, like, Lewis is just gone and he's there, so it's like, what the hell? Like, and then they're getting married. Like, so we've barely seen Peaches grow up. We've just seen her become a teenager and get married. We barely saw her childhood, which is really disappointing. And the whole wedding sequence just doesn't feel earned. I mean, it just feels really tacked on, and it feels like an afterthought. It's like forced emotional impact. It's like, oh, we got to do something to make this heartfelt. Let's have Peaches get married at the end. It's like they're not even trying. They're not even trying that hard to make this matter. They're just like, we need some kind of emotional ending. But it doesn't really work. Like, Ice Age 1 to 3 is a good arc because Manny gets his family back, and you don't need to continue the story. And what I gather from 5, Collision Course, is that they were trying to have that continue a bit with Manny and his daughter, and her getting married. It's like him sort of extending his family. I mean, I get that, but again, it's just so forced. The granny is a bit better in this film, though. I think that Sid's grandma is slightly funnier in this one, slightly. But yeah, just the whole story is so dumb. It's just so freaking dumb. The animation is really good, though. Got to give them props for that. It really is impressive how much the technology has changed. But this is the 5th movie, and it's just so tired. I mean, if you thought Shrek the Third was tired, fuck me. This is even worse. Like, at least Shrek the Third had a story. At least Shrek the Third had some kind of narrative plot. That at least it was going somewhere. To me, Ice Age 5 just doesn't go anywhere, even though it tries to give the illusion that it does. It just goes to show the lack of care, the lack of passion, and Scrat is just so not funny anymore. They should have taken him out this movie, but if he wasn't the big mascot for this franchise, well, he wouldn't have. Well, they wouldn't have made it to 5 movies, and then he wouldn't have been in it. But seeing him going to space, it's just all kinds of wrong. It just the vibe doesn't work, and they really forgot what made Ice Age great. Like I said about number 4, the fact that they threw so much in and didn't know what to do with it, and it's the same issue here, but worse. They've thrown even more in, and they've actually made the whole concept even dumber. That now they're just at a real crossroads, and it's like, well, we might as well just let this unfold and see what happens, and that's what they've done. It's almost like they tried to let the script write itself as they were animating this movie. It's like there was only one draft of the script, and that was it. They thought literally like, I just imagine the pitch meeting, Ice Age 5. What can we do? Space. That'll work. It's like they didn't consider any other ideas. There could have been so many other ideas for this movie without having to go to space, but no. That's the point where you jump the shark. So, I mean, at the end of the day, and again, the pop songs, like you mentioned earlier, I don't mind them. I mean, they're okay. Like, they are what they are. But overall, I've got to be honest, and I've got to give this movie a 3 out of 10. I'll give it 3 because I do like Jessie J. I think she does a good job with her character, and I think the cast are doing a good job with the material they've got. And the music score is decent, and the animation is very good. I will say one more thing, though, which is Diego. I think this is the worst that they have ever used Diego.
I agree.
I mean, as much as I didn't like him falling in love in number 4, forcing him and Shira into sort of like considering having kids, like it just seems a bit too early to be doing that. Like they barely developed the relationship in the 4th movie, and now in the 5th film, it doesn't feel right. It's like they were out of ideas, couldn't think of what to do with those characters. So yeah, I mean, for all I said about Toy Story 5 and how messy that movie is, it's way better than this. At least with Toy Story 5, they cared. At least with Toy Story 5, the heart was in the right place. The intention was noble and was good. With Ice Age 5, it's just got no heart, no soul. It's a product of the studio behind it, and it's a merchandiser. It's there to sell the company. It's there to sell the brand. It's not there to add to the franchise. It only ever took away, and the fact that it bombed is just a real, in some ways, a blessing. But now that Disney own the franchise, of course they're going to carry on. So yeah, for me it's easy 3 out of 10. But there is one more film we have to talk about before we close off. That is the Disney Plus spin-off movie, Ice Age: The Adventures of Buckwild, or The Adventures of Fuckwild, as Harry calls it.
Oh yeah. For your information, guys, I did see it, and it was just a disastrous, worst Disney Plus type show.
I think it's the worst of the franchise, but we'll go into that. So yeah, and then of course, like Ice Age Boiling Point, which is the actual 6th movie, will be out in 2027. But for now, Harry, would you like to give us your in-depth but sort of brief thoughts on Ice Age: The Adventures of Buckwild?
Oh my God! The Adventures of Fuckwild. Oh,
you thought Ice Age 5 was bad.
Oh, if you thought Ice Age 5 was the last straw, you ain't seen nothing yet. So this movie fucking sucks.
You said that 5 was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
This one is like the coffin literally breaking and throwing it on the ground.
Literally. And why does this movie exist? How dare Disney, cynically shut down Blue Sky and then just make Ice Age their own franchise? You don't do that. That's so cold-hearted of them. And
Bastards!
Yeah.
And like Disney should have thought better and like left the studio as it is,
Mm.
or sell Blue Sky to another studio instead of just shutting it down. Like, come on, they had a better chance to becoming better, and now look what they did.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God, this film, it's a disgrace. It's catastrophically bad. And it's one of the worst animated movies I've ever seen. This is the definition of a TV movie. There is no cinematic merit here, so it
Oh
deservedly
yeah.
was just straight to Disney Plus. The
What was the budget?
animation.
Like 1p, $1, if that.
Yeah, if there even is a budget, the animation is shit in
Yeah.
this
It's like
film.
an Ice Age fan film.
It's
Oh
also
my
cheap
God.
and lazy.
Literally, oh my God! It looks. I cannot. And also, if you thought this was a Bucker Wild movie, well, it's not. It's an Eddie and Crash film. You made Eddie and Crash the protagonist.
Ed and
Oh,
Eddie.
Oh my.
stupid decision. What
Yeah.
101?
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
they're not even
God.
voiced by the same actors as well, which is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only left Simon Pegg to play Buck Wild,
And
as
he
always.
hated doing this film. He regretted it.
God.
I can't say I blame the guy because, but my God, what you bring back Simon Pegg, but you recasted everybody else. Like the original cast are greatly missed, and the new voice cast do such a fake job impersonating the others, and the film opens with this. Boring, unnecessary recap of the previous 5 films in like cave painting style animation. I'm like, we don't need to see this. We already know what happened in the previous 5 films. Like we're not idiots. And
Yeah.
yeah, this film really it's insulting to intelligence. And Orson, he's an atrocious villain, the worst Ice Age villain, hands down, easily.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't even remember the character very much, if I'm going to be honest. So that's how bad he is.
Exactly. In fact, I'm sorry, you went from Rudy in the 3rd film to Orson. Like, and why do we have to go back to the dinosaur world again? They are really overusing the dinosaur world to death in Ice Age at this point. Remember back when it was.
Buck was in it, I guess that was to be expected.
Well, yeah.
And what is your opinion on the design and CGI in the dinosaur world? Like, jeez.
Yeah, tell me about it. And also, there's like a female Buck in this film. Like, I mean, I don't, and the film does nothing with her at all. Like, and also, you remember Peaches and Julian and Shira and Brooke from the 4th and 5th film? They're not in this movie. Where the fuck are they? They're not even mentioned.
It's not even about them, really.
Exactly.
But they said, this takes place after Dawn of the Dinosaurs, which come on, they could have like done better. Jeez.
Wait, it takes place before Ice Age 4.
God.
All right, but still, so
I thought it was directly after 5, but I don't.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think the movie knows really.
Yeah, I thought it was after 5 too. So yeah, this. Oh my God, this is the biggest steaming pile of mammoth shit to ever come out of Ice Age, and this was the shittiest 20th anniversary celebration for the first Ice Age. Oh, but this was a complete spit in the face to the fans. So yeah, Ice Age really was done dirty by this piece of fucking shit. Yeah, I am gladly gonna rate this a 0 out of 10 and 0 stars out of 5.
Nice. It's nice. It's nice that you gave it like the lowest rating of all time. So free cheers for you.
Well, could have put it better myself. Jesse, have you seen this movie? Do you want to speak about it?
Oh yes, definitely. And I'm about to like do an extreme rant on this abomination. I'm about to get to my point right now. Like, oh my god, this has got to be one of the worst and most huge abominations of an Ice Age film I've ever seen in 2022. Like seriously, they should have left Ice Age as it is. But once Disney shut down Blue Sky and decided to develop their own Ice Age movie, they made it worse. They honestly made it a piece of crap slop that doesn't even look like a high budget movie. Like everything just looks like a TV show crammed into a movie. Like no. And let me tell you, if people saw this in theaters, they would honestly say boo, and then they're gonna be like, I want my money back. Like you ruined Ice Age. Come
Literally.
on. So yeah, let's get into the story. So the story, you have Crash and Eddie doing their shenanigans and making them the main characters just makes no sense, and the comedy from them is just more insufferable than they were in the previous films. Like, come on, they were butchered, and they didn't even have that one guy and Josh Peck voicing them, and then have two unrecognizable characters just voicing them, and they didn't even sound like they were in the previous films. There was just oh we're going back to the lost world, and they go and then the ice cracks, and then they went down to the into the lost world of the dinosaurs, which has the most idiotic and bad special effects I ever seen. And then Manny was like, "Oh no, those tank dogs went back to the lost world!" Like, come on. You don't even sound like Manny after all. I mean, this is honestly a slap in the face to Ray Romano, the best Manny that we ever had. And then
The only.
yep. And then they just got this one guy who's trying to mimic his voice, but he failed. He pretty much failed in, in one piece. Like, come on. And then that one joke that Manny made, um, that made to Sid was just idiotic. He was like, I'm gonna squash you like a grape." Like, no. What kind of joke was that? It's just insufferable. Come on, like the joke in Ice Age 2 where he says like I'm gonna pummel you and then I'm gonna kill you. That was like done better than this obnoxious joke. And then there was one joke that Sid made. He was like, "Oh, I love family reunion." Come on, that is not the Sid I like. And I'm guessing the guy who voiced said John something didn't come back is because he was playing Bruno from Encanto. So I'm guessing that's that.
Oh, John Leguizamo, yeah.
Oh yeah. So, anyways, yeah, everybody was like recasted except for Buck Wild, and there was just so freaking terrible and boring that I couldn't even see couldn't even stand looking at them. I'm gonna be like these. Look how they massacre my characters, my boys, everybody. No. And then when you get to the lost world of the dinosaurs, like I said, oh my god, look how downgrade and dirty they did to the world. And then they just go in and then finds Buck Wild, and that Buck was just worse here than he was in Collusion Course. Like, what did they even do to him? And I honestly felt sorry for Simon Pegg coming back to this.
Yeah. Well, I
Like,
hope he took his paycheck.
yeah. Ugh. And I'm
Well,
just
what I will say though, Jesse, if you don't mind, is
yeah.
I think one of Diego's lines of dialogue from the third movie sums up like the feelings towards Disney on this one, and I think it's when he says, "For the record, I blame you for this."
God. Okay, that's
Disney should be ashamed of themselves.
definitely. Um, so getting back to douchebag Wild. So douchebag Wild pretty much dives into the dinosaur world, and then you find this female version of Buck Wild who's just bland, forgettable, and boring at the same time. And I'm about to do the Black Critic guy impression. It's painfully boring, boring. Like seriously, who does she think she is? She should not be in this movie. Come on, if she was introduced in Ice Age 3, then it would make more sense and she would have a better character development and character design. But they did her dirty here, just like Buck Wild and the others. And then you have this villain dinosaur who is just obnoxious. And he said the most idiotic dialogue of all time.
Awesome.
And he had a big brain, which made me
Oh,
want to. made me want to like rip it out and then push a self-destruct button and then boom,
Was
get
that
out of.
Orson?
What was that?
Was that Orson the villain?
The villain? Heck no, I didn't like him. Like seriously.
I'll take that as a yes.
Oh God. But anyways. Okay, well, yada yada this, yada yada that. Then we get to the ending where Crash and Eddie were gonna go back to Ellie and the others. Oh God. Jeez. Okay, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Okay, we just end right there, and then the movie's over, and then I just like forgot about it the next day. So yeah. Okay, let's get to the final verdict. This is just one of the worst movies I ever saw on Disney Plus, especially the worst Ice Age movie I've seen in my life, and definitely one of the
Yeah.
worst films of all
Worse than Ice Age
time.
5.
Definitely. They butchered everybody. They recasted pretty much everybody that we know and love except for Simon Pegg, which I feel sorry for him. And worst of all, Scrat is not in the film. They completely cut out Scrat. Oh my
I actually didn't
God.
mind that. I thought that was kind of a nice change because Scrap has been so overused. But yeah.
Yeah, like if it was here, he would have been like terrible with this terrible CGI design. But thank God we got Scrat Tales that was on Disney Plus, and they did him better, which I like it more than freaking douchebag Wild. So yeah, the story didn't make any sense, which felt like a retelling of Ice Age 3. The characters were pretty much butchered and screwed up and acted like a bunch of obnoxious characters from a cartoon or a Disney Channel show, which this should have been a TV show for Disney Channel. And the villains were just forgettable. I didn't like them. I don't seem to care for them at all. Like they should all be extinct, just like how all dinosaurs should be extinct. And
Yeah.
in the trailer, they even showed that T-Rex who was the mother to the baby dinosaurs that Sid took care of. But they downgraded her into this cheap looking dinosaur that you would find in either Walking with Dinosaurs or Land Before Time or Disney's Dinosaur. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I can say. This film is definitely forgettable. I'm never going to see this again. And I'm just hoping for the best. That
Even if you watched the whole series to prepare for the next one.
Yeah, that too. Leading up to boiling point, which like I said, I'm dreading to see it to see if it's good or not. But anyways, I'm just gonna give out my score. It gets a 1 out of 10. It does not have redeeming qualities, and it shall not be talked about ever again until boiling point. So yeah, worst film of all time.
I mean, if Boiling Point is worse than this, I will be stunned.
I'm gonna be pissed if it like don't. Hold on, let me repeat that. Yeah, I'm still gonna be pissed if they pretty much ruin every element and copy everything, just like what we saw in previous movies. So yeah,
Cool. Well, how do I follow that? Okay, so Ice Age Adventures of Fuckwild, as Harry puts it. Oh, God.
good one.
Oh dear. I mean, I honestly am. I'm blown away by this movie. Blown away. It's a masterpiece of absolute shit.
Blown
I
away
mean-
by how shit is this.
Fucking hell! Like, I thought Ice Age 5 was bad. My God, at least Ice Age 5 has nice animation. This movie is a painful mess. It's a painful, insulting mess to this franchise. I mean, just everything about this is just wrong. Like from the get go. The only thing that I like about it is Simon Pegg. You know, the fact that Simon Pegg is in it as Buck, I will take that any day over someone else. But the rest of the movie can go fuck itself. It's just fuck me. Like there's no story, and Crash and Eddie is the protagonists. What the hell? Like that's so misleading. I thought this was going to be a prequel with Buck fighting Rudy, like showing more of that backstory, which I think would have honestly just been better. Like focus on Buck and Rudy. We don't need the rest of the characters. Like the fact is, all the original characters are so briefly in it anyway, and they're not voiced by the original cast. So who the fuck cares? You know, no one's going to give a shit that they're in it or not. And the animation is just god awful. It is fucking awful. I mean, it's worse than the first movie. Like, the first movie might be dated now, but at least it looks consistent.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I understand this was obviously made on a probably lower budget, TV budget or whatever, and it was made for streaming. So the cost of value is probably not as high here. But even so, it's like they didn't even try. They didn't even try, and it was shamelessly just shoved on Disney Plus just for the sake of it. I find Crash and Eddie to be at their worst here. They're just so annoying, so fucking tired of their shit. I can't tell who's who in this version, and it's like the actors are trying to do impressions of the original actors, and it doesn't work. I mean, and the reuses of the music score are appreciated, but not enough to save the film. And as you said, we get this really unnecessary recap of the earlier films at the beginning. I think they recap all 5 movies, don't they? But
yeah,
I can't really remember, and I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. But yeah. As for the villain, I think his name is Orson. I don't remember much about the character. He didn't stick out in my mind. So probably the worst Ice Age villain. Just so dull and so with that character. Annoying. Everything about this movie is annoying. It's 1 hour, 20 minutes, but it feels so much longer. It's so dull. It drags. There's not enough excitement. There's just nothing here. And like the female Buck character, Z or whatever her name is, didn't care for her either. Thought she was awful as a character. It just, the whole thing just feels really corporate, and you just feel like this bad vibe from the beginning. Even though, yeah, arguably Ice Age 5 is more ridiculous and probably should be the worst still, but this is the worst because it's got Disney's fucking paw prints all over it. To be honest, just the whole conception of this movie, the way it was made, just the lack of care that was made with it, like the fact that they were like, oh, we'll just go down into the dino world again, we'll just animate it on a lower budget, we'll just shamelessly shove it out on streaming, just because no one else will, because we own the franchise now, so ha ha ha, let's just do this. The only thing they did right was get Simon Pegg back, but even Simon Pegg is ashamed of this movie. He took his paycheck and he ran, but he every time someone asks him about it, he's like, yeah, no, I'm not really a fan of that, but whatever. To him, he was just doing his job. So yeah, I honestly can't remember that much about this film. It's such a forgettable movie. The plot is dull and thin. It's just made with this unpleasant quality, and it looks horrible. Like, the animation looks so horrible. It's almost like they were animating cutscenes for an Ice Age PS4 game.
Yeah,
it doesn't really work. And yeah, all the other actors who voiced the original characters, who are doing impressions of the original cast, they are nothing like them. They don't sound anywhere close. So ultimately, this is one of the weakest animated movies in a long time. It's not the worst ever, but it's the worst Ice Age movie just because of the unpleasant quality behind it, and because it looks the worst as well, and it doesn't add anything to this franchise, and it just goes to show basically this steady decline. Every single movie since the first one has got progressively lower in quality, and now we're at the stage of like, could this possibly get any lower? Could actually Disney learn from this and make Boiling Point a decent movie? At this point, I just want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun. I just want to have fun with Ice Age again, and I can't because it's so fucking boring. It's not as convoluted as the last one, but it is just as dull. There's probably, the main focus being Crash and Eddie's story, but it doesn't go anywhere. Like, they don't stay with Buck. Like, as far as I remember, like, don't they go back home, or do they stay with him? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I can't remember in all honesty, because I only saw this awful film once and never had the desire to watch it again.
Yeah, it lacks excitement, it lacks passion, it lacks everything. It's I mean, if you thought Ice Age 5 was the death of narrative cinema, then this fucking takes the cake. This makes Ice Age 5 look like Citizen Kane. You know, the difference between the two movies is massive, and yet they're both crap films. But the latter, meaning this one, is just it's almost like it. Like I said, it's an Ice Age fan movie that was put on YouTube, and someone made it, and it got loads of views, and Disney Plus decided to just stream it because they thought it was popular. It doesn't feel like Disney really made this movie, and it almost was made in a way I feel like to kind of spit in the face of Blue Sky, and I don't like that. And I feel like that's the intention behind it. It's like, hey, we own your franchise now, and we're going to do what the fuck we want. We're going to ruin it. I don't appreciate that. I think that is why people dislike it so much, because they don't feel like it's the same. They feel like it's betraying what was what had come before. So yeah, I will finish up by giving this movie a 1 out of 10. I'll give it 1 because of Simon Pegg. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it can go fuck itself to, hell on earth.
Definitely. Man, this felt like a long live stream that I've ever been to, so I'm glad we all had fun.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our hangout. So the last thing we'll do is we'll just rank the movies in order of personal preference, and we'll add up our scores for each film. So the total is obviously 60 because there's 6 movies. I'll start with you, Harry. How do you rank the 6 films, and adding your ratings up, what does the whole series get out of 60?
Okay. So at number 6, Adventures of Fuck Wild, no surprise, just no more Ice Age. And at number 5 is 5 Collision Course, and number 4 Dawn of the Dinosaurs, and number 3 The Meltdown, number 2 Continental Drift, and number 1, of course, the first Ice Age. Back when Ice Age was great. So yeah, out of 60, I'd raise it 34 out of 60.
Wow, that's not bad. I mean, it's over halfway, but it's not as good as it could be.
Exactly.
So, Jesse, what about you?
Okay, if I had to count, the rest, I mean, I'll just say this from best to worst. So, yeah, look, number 4, I'll put, The Meltdown. Oh, wait, not number 4. I'm gonna go to number 3. Okay, number 3, The Meltdown. Number 2, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, and number 1 as my personal best, the first one, it's definitely a masterpiece. Okay, and for the worst, I'm gonna have to put Continental Drift on my number 4. Uh, oh, no. Hold on, let me rephrase that. It's gonna be number 3 since it's 3 on 3. I'm doing. Okay, so for worst, number 3 is gonna be Continental Drift. Number number 2, Buck Wild, and number 1, Collusion Course. That's all.
Okay, I think I understand that. But yeah, anyway, and out of 60, like adding your scores up for each film, what does your total score come to?
I'm not so very sure. Because it's kind of gets confusing to me if I do like a total lineup. I mean, Harry did it pretty much easy, but for me, it's kind of like tricky.
Okay, well, take a minute to think about it. Just look at the movies and remember what you've rated each of them, and then just add them up. But I'll do mine then if you're struggling.
All right.
Yeah. So okay, my ranking going from worst to best, and I'm doing it the same way as Harry. I think it's easier that way to just rank all of them together. And number 6 is Adventures of Fuck Wild, easily. Then number 5 is Collision Course. Number 4 is Continental Drift. Number 3 is Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Number 2 is The Meltdown, and number 1 is the first film. And the scores. So the first film I gave a 10. The second, no, not a 10. I gave it a 9. I gave it a 9. The second one I gave a 7. So 9 is 7 is 15. 15, and the third one I gave a 7. So 15 plus 7 is 22. And then Ice Age 4, I gave I think a 3. No, I gave a 4 out of 10. So 22 plus 4 is 26. Ice Age 5, I gave a 3. So 26 plus 3 is 29. And then I gave a 1 to Buckwild. So my score is 30 out of 60. So literally halfway, it gets half the marks, 50%. It's not great, but you know, a lot of the high score comes from the first film. But you know, it's funny how you tally it up. So unless Jesse's going to do his ratings, we'll.
I'm just gonna cut to the chase without doing this whole math equation. So okay, yeah, number 6 I put Buck Wild. Number 5 I definitely put Collusion Course, and number 4 I put Continental Drift. Number 3, number 3 the Meltdown. Number 2, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. And number 1, the first movie. That's it.
Cool. Thanks, man. Okay, so we will probably leave it there. It's been a long hangout, but thank you very much for joining me, lads, and thank you all for listening. We look forward to talking about Ice Age 6 Boiling Point when it eventually comes out. But until then, we bid you good night and have a great day.
Yeah, you
See ya.
too. See ya.
Night.